The Jets smacked around the Green Bay Packers in the preseason opener. That was fun. We'll talk some winners and losers, plus some notes from our resident NFL insider. Boy Green Daily starts right now.
I'm going to lose my gosh-darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Weston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe here on YouTube, and if in case you missed it, feel free to watch it last night. We had a lot of callers on the post-game show seconds after the game was over, so that'll be a new perk, a new kick to this year. We'll be getting to the post-game shows earlier than ever before. I hope you guys enjoy that. You certainly seem to enjoy that last night. You guys can watch that on the replay for our full post-game and analysis show, which was a lot of fun. We have a special guest to get to, but real quick, I see we got a membership being gifted by MFC right off the top rope. Let's go, baby. 2-2. Oh, yeah, baby. And that membership went to Paul Bruno. Welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club. And by the way, MFC, you have 5 raffle tickets for our contest this month. Much appreciated. Without further ado, you guys can keep those memberships and super chat questions flowing here on the program. Let's get down to it. We've got our resident NFL insider, Matt Lombardo, which, by the way, there is a direct clickable link in the YouTube description down below to get you right to his Substack, baby, so you can enjoy some Matt Lombardo all night long. Now, wait a second. That sounds very bizarre. It could be during the day. It doesn't have to be at night. It could be, you know what? Never mind. Let's just get to him here on the show. Matt Lombardo, welcome to the program.
Yeah. Paul, that was phenomenal and almost as impressive as the Jets were last night in that preseason opener where the Packers decided just not to show up for the festivities.
Yeah, I mean, it was, look at this, 30-10 blowout win. You, of course, see the photo up there from the top after Justin Fields gets the touchdown. AG dapping it up with Fields after the game, after the drive, excuse me. So we weren't sure how much he was going to play, so we could start there first, Matt, on Justin Fields and your impression of that opening drive. That ended up being all she wrote. They got the ball, the Jets 10 plays, 79 yards right down the field, some Justin Fields throwing, some Justin Fields running, and bing, boom, bam, they got an opening drive touchdown after a quick 3-and-out by the defense. Complimentary football at its finest, Matt Lombardo.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, right? The preseason isn't necessarily about wins and losses. It's not even always about the production, but Justin Fields, you got the full Justin Fields experience. He looked confident and comfortable in the pocket. He was mobile, as he has always been throughout his career. Couple of big runs, showed some escapability on the run. But I think most importantly, he moved the football. And you got a little bit of a glimpse of what that offense is going to look like, feeding off of his mobility. You funnel the offense through the tight end a little bit, as he always did during his time in Chicago, and then built up a strong connection with Pat Freiermuth in Pittsburgh with the Steelers last year. So you check all the boxes, you feel good about it, and you're on to preseason week 2, feeling good about Justin Fields. And I think most importantly, Paul, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the scare with the dislocated toe, the injury that he suffered in practice. Certainly showed no ill effects of that as the preseason kicked off last night.
Yeah, see, that was a concern, of course, because, first off, it's a concern because you never want your quarterback to be injured. Once you get past that level, you're like, oh, it's a toe. This is a mobile guy. What if all of a sudden he's not mobile anymore? If he has the inconsistencies as a passer, maybe that could lead to some bad results. But obviously, he showed no hesitation last night in terms of running the football around. Now, Matt, you've been covering a lot of preseasons. Excuse me. And now here we are with the Jets. It's one preseason game, but the only logical conclusion a lot of Jets fans have come to is we're going to win the Super Bowl, baby, and we're going to blow out every team by 20 points. But, Matt, you may have a more objective take on this. What should the takeaways be for Jet fans, specifically on Justin Fields? We'll get into some winners and losers from the rest of the roster, but as it pertains to Justin Fields and seeing the sample size, what should the excitement level be, but also in the back of our mind saying, well, it's just one preseason game.
Yeah, I think you have to temper it just a little bit, right? Because, this wasn't exactly the Packers game planning for the New York Jets like it would be for a regular season game. But you feel good about it, not just from a Justin Fields standpoint, but from a culture standpoint. When you're talking about a new head coach going into the preseason, there's a tone setting that takes place. And the Jets clearly are bought in. They clearly took this thing seriously. And the offense did at its most basic level, because again, you're not showing your top concepts and your top plays on film, but at the most basic level, installing the scheme, installing the system, they executed at a high level across the entire roster. I mean, Paul, at one point, I believe it was going into the fourth quarter, they had outgained the Packers 333 yards to 92. Now, a lot of that is I've never seen such abject apathy from a team before, but a lot of that is to the Packers just seeming not ready to play. But somebody had to produce those yards, right? And the Jets went out there. They did what they do. They run the football effectively. The quarterbacks executed each of them at a high level for the amount of time that they were in there. You feel good about it, but you realize it's just one preseason game, and none of this really matters all that much until you kick it off for real in September.
Which is very fair. And by the way, at the end of the game, before we get to our winners and losers, Sauce Gardner wearing the cheese head. So this is a photo back from 2022. This was when the Jets played the Packers. They got the America's Game of the Week. They played Green Bay. A lot of people overlooked this and like, Jets, who the hell is this team? And that was the rookie year of Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, everybody. And the Jets went into Lambeau and smacked around Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And a lot of people said that created all kinds of buzz. Well, after the game, Sauce Gardner apparently was back up to his old tricks. Let's watch this. There he is. Cheesehead, and even look at this. A Packers fan gave him a thumbs up, and then a nice handshake from a Green Bay Packers fan. And then Sauce Gardner went in the locker room after a jersey swap at midfield with a member of the Packers. So, hey, vibes are high, Matt Lombardo. Vibes are high, and hope is eternal here in the preseason where everyone's 0-0. So we could start on whichever one. I don't know what kind of guy you are, Matt. Like when you're with your family and you go to your wife and you're like, all right, I got good news or bad news. I'm not sure which one you go to first. Everyone has different philosophies, different strategies here. But I go to you, Matt. Let's get to some winners and losers from this preseason game, because there always are. There's always things to be happy and excited about we can point to, but also there's also things of concern. So start where you'd like.
Yeah, I always like to rip the Band-Aid off first with the bad news, so you can set up the good news that feels even better and more
That's a good
exciting.
point.
So let's just
Yeah.
start here. First of all, I'll couch this. I didn't think there were that many quote unquote losers for the Jets
Oh, great.
last night,
Okay.
just because I thought that it was such a dominant performance on both sides of the ball, just because I thought that the Packers, again, failed to really take this all that seriously. But Breece Hall, really underwhelming. And we'll get into some of the other running backs in the biggest winners section, but it's not always about the numbers. It's not always about the stats, but his workload came pretty late, later than you'd expect it to, for a guy fighting for the starting running back job. And I just wasn't impressed with the burst. I wasn't impressed by what I saw out there. And for a guy fighting for RB1, not a great start to the competition, at least in my opinion.
That makes a lot of sense here for Breece Hall and the performance, if you want to call it that, for what he showed. And again, in these kinds of scenarios, I had a job once, Matt Lombardo, that I enjoyed. It was a very nice job. And then for some reason or another, I had to take time off. And I didn't go to this job for like a month, but they knew it. It's not like I blew them off. Like they knew it. And so they enjoyed life without Paul Lesden Jr. And what a horrific life that must be. But while I was away, they went, we sort of figured it out. Do we need to still pay this guy, Paul Lesden Jr.? It was a non-sports job. And so when I got back, they sat me down and said, Paul, it's not me, it's you. And bing, boom, bam, I lost the gig. So when Breece, we try to bring that lovely story to Breece, right? So he underperforms here, and then other people's perhaps overperform. All of a sudden, coaches start going, now, wait just a second here. What are we going to be doing? So, hey, Breece Hall, might be something to keep an eye out for. I think that totally makes a lot of sense. By the way, Brees Hall ended up with 3 carries for 9 yards, so 3 yards per clip, and not exactly exciting there, but the starters got out quickly over that. So I love that, and shout out to my pop. He's over the Atlantic Ocean. He's flying Wi-Fi technology. It's beautiful. See, you can watch Boy Green daily in international waters. You're welcome, Bob. Glad you're enjoying that. So okay, Brees Hall, big loser. Totally get that. Any other losers?
Second team offensive line. I think they mentioned this on the broadcast during the game. The aggressiveness from Aaron Glenn, which I loved, going for it on 4th and 1 early, deep in Packers territory. Love the aggressiveness, love the play call. Just no push at all in the running game. But the good news for the Jets here is it was the second team offensive line that failed to generate much of a push. So you're not too worried about that because there aren't going to be many scenarios where all 5 of your second string backup offensive linemen are going to be on the field at the same time. So not a whole lot to worry about there. And you and I were talking about this a little bit off the air. I do kind of wonder if in the regular season, when it's Justin Fields, is that tush push territory? Because, driving back from my training camp tour stop in Latrobe, I was kind of dancing around the Sirius XM dial, checking in on some of the preseason games, and you hear the Tanner McKee tush push touchdown in Philadelphia. So, okay, that just happened. Let me check in on what's happening with these Colts quarterbacks. Baltimore, backup running back, backup quarterback, tush push first down. Paul, it's the tush push era. It's here. It's no longer a Philly John. Will the Jets, with Justin Fields in short yardage situations, run the tush push? And if the first team offensive line is any more impressive than what the Jets' second team offensive line is, I like their chances of converting there.
Which, by the way, I think there may be some of that subject matter in a certain column that comes out on Mondays, but perhaps we'll get to that at a different point here on the program. Again, direct link down below in the YouTube description to Matt Lombardo Substack, our NFL Insider Extraordinaire, where you could get Matt Lombardo all the time, baby, which is an absolutely wonderful thing. So, yeah, I am kind of curious because we were talking off air. The thing that Jet fans hated about that situation, so aggressiveness, Detroit Lions flashes, that's what the broadcast immediately says. Dan Campbell's obviously influenced AG here, let's go. But it was a single back set, and the only back that was behind the quarterback was Braelon Allen. And, that sort of seems to indicate your big, brutish, big physical running back on a short yardage play. Are you just going to run it to him? They attempted to, and they were stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey behind the line of scrimmage. So, that part, they're going to have to work on a little bit of the creativity, but also to your point, Matt, this is vanilla stuff. People aren't game planning for each other, so you're just running some offense. So I don't want to go too overboard, but it's certainly something that makes sense. All right, let me channel my inner Ace Ventura here. Is there any more Lahoo Zahers?
I'm ready to move over to the winners myself.
Oh, great.
When you blow out
Beautiful.
a team 30-10 and outgain them by 500 yards, let's move to the winners.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Let's start right at the top. I am pulling choo-choo. I am pulling the Braelon Allen hype train out of the station after last night because he's a guy who threw down the gauntlet, looks like running back one. We talked about it. The numbers, you don't really read too much into the numbers in preseason. It's how do they look on film? It's the eye test. It's what happened. That's what the coaches are evaluating. 8 carries, 33 yards. They are what they are. But the burst and the explosiveness from Braelon Allen looked a step quicker even than he did in the past. He looks to me, Paul, like running back one. Now, you can form some sort of committee around him, but when week 1 kicks off, if Braelon Allen is healthy, in my opinion, he's your bell cow. He's your 20-plus carry per game running back. He was impressive last night. That's a really good Packers front seven, and he had a couple of big runs, couple of explosive plays. I am all in on Braelon Allen. I thought that was really impressive last night.
Oh my goodness. That I tweeted last night randomly when I saw one of the plays. I mean, he is just a locomotive. I mean, he is a freight train coming. And if I'm a defender, I'm making business decisions when that pile of man is running at me at 1,000,000 miles an hour with his size and unique speed, as my pop says, Agent Zero. So again, he's still got, not including this past season, obviously, he's got 3 years left on his rookie control as a former 4th-round pick. Brees Hall is a free agent after this year. Again, how quickly do we go to the Braelon Allen train? That is certainly something we need to consider. More, I see that we've got Yank Billy here sending in a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Appreciate you, good sir. Being tied for first place with several other people. He wants to hold that all to his own, which again, I can only respect. So 23 raffle tickets for our boy here, Old Yank. So thank you so much for sending those in. And we will keep you guys posted as more memberships flow in here on the channel. Feel free to send in your super chat questions if you have any for Matt as you're going through this process. And also your memberships as well are always, wonderful here on the program, and we enjoy it thoroughly. So, guys, feel free to take full advantage of that as well. And by the way, that membership went to Michael Narrow. Thank you, Yank Billy, for that. All right, Matt, Braelon Allen, that's a massive winner. That one's one the fans are going to rally around. What other winners, floated your boat here?
Slightly deeper sleeper, but we've talked the last couple weeks about what are the Jets going to do at wide receiver? Are they going to sign someone? Keenan Allen goes out to Los Angeles, reunites with the Chargers. He's off the table. Tyler Johnson, I loved him at Minnesota. I watch a lot of Big Ten football, obviously, but he's a big target. He did a nice job finding a soft spot in the Packers zone last night to pull down a big catch. Kind of wonder at that frame and that size if he starts to build the confidence of Justin Fields if he gets first team reps, or of Adrian Martinez when he's out there. Can he climb the depth chart? I thought Tyler Johnson acquitted himself pretty nicely last night.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson is a lot of fun. They got a lot of fun guys on this team. Tyler Johnson finished with 2 catches for 27 yards last night. That was second on the team in receiving yards, only behind a different player that may be on your biggest winners in a little bit. By the way, Braelon Allen finished with 8 carries for 33 yards, 4.1 per clip, and he had that long of a 14-yarder, which was terrific. So, there's some good things happening here. That is clearly the case. All right, more winners, Matt Lombardo?
Yeah, well, let's jump right into him. Andrew Beck, tight end. You didn't get to see much of Mason Taylor last night, but Andrew Beck seemed to really have Justin Fields' confidence, and we touched on it a little bit earlier. Justin Fields isn't a guy who's always going to air it out. There's not a lot of explosive plays down the field, but it's a lot of hitting the tight end, operating over the middle of the field, the intermediate passing game, and if nothing else, Beck seemed like he had Justin Fields' confidence, and that is big at the tight end position. If he builds on this, you could see him in a contributing role, no doubt in my mind.
It certainly seems that way because I'm going to be honest here. You look at Beck. AG gave him a shout out in the presser last night and sort of laughed off. That was actually Darren Mucci's talking about the Jets general manager. His first signing as the GM of the Jets was a fullback tight end combo. He's like, what's going on here? But it goes to show that obviously the Jets had a vision for him. And of course, Beck crossed over with Darren Mucci over there with the Denver Broncos. So yeah, Beck certainly was an eyebrow raiser last night. There's no question about it. That was a lot of fun. And again, he was lining up in the backfield. He was lining up in 2 tight end sets. Very, very, interesting stuff there from Beck. Let's answer the super chat coming in here, which I believe is NC Green, which goes to the point of his question. Thank you for the super chat. We hear from my daughters, right, Luna? Wow. He's asking why everyone's handles here on YouTube are different. That's above my pay grade. I'm not sure why that suddenly transformed. That's not a light switch I flipped. If anyone thinks I have that sort of power, well, I don't. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5 super chat. But hey, BG, any comment on why everyone's post is a different name or handle? I've got no idea why that suddenly has happened. That must just be a YouTube update. So what I'm going to have to try to do now is I knew so many of you by whatever your names were before that I'm now going to have to relearn you NC-JB5FB, which isn't nearly as catchy as NC Green, I'm going to be honest, but we'll try to do what we can. And you picked yourself up a raffle ticket or 2 here as well, which we'll put on the docket. So thank you, NC Green, for reaching out here. Appreciate it. You now have 6 raffle tickets for our contest this month. So thank you very much. All right, Lombardo, is there any other winners we need to get to here?
I thought Adrian Martinez acquitted himself really nicely. Now, there's no sort of quarterback competition or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that in the least. But the preseason is where you kind of get your backup quarterbacks to shine, right? Because they're going up against second and third team defenses. You know, you look across the league, there's always a backup or two that really emerges and has a solid performance. 11 of 16, 152 yards and a touchdown. But more importantly, move the ball effectively, efficiently, and consistently, look comfortable and calm in the pocket. And that's what you want to see out of your backup quarterback, who is a Justin Fields toe, ankle, finger, wrist, what have you away. from being on the field playing meaningful snaps when the games start to count for real. I thought Adrian Martinez played really well and seems to have his teammates fired up.
And good for the kid. He got the entire second half. Unfortunately, one of the injuries the Jets are dealing with is Tyrod Taylor, who is suffering from what we all like to call old man. So he's 36, and some knee maintenance there happening. But that opened the door for Brady Cook, the undrafted free agent, to get a lot of opportunities. Obviously, Justin Fields only played one drive. Brady Cook got the rest of the first half. Adrian Martinez got the entire second half. So we'll see how long that continues to be a thing with Tyrod Taylor's age. Maybe he just doesn't play at all in the preseason. It's up all to the young Bucks. We'll see if Justin Fields and the rest of the team get some starting action coming up. So we will see what happens. So I love that. A shout out to the UFL MVP, baby. Adrian Martinez, MVP. I want to make sure I don't leave off if you had any others. Was that your last one there, Matt Lombardo?
That's my last one on the list. And as far as, game planning out how you're going to play your starters or
Yeah.
allocate snaps in the preseason, always give them to the young players, in my opinion. I was
Okay.
out of Pittsburgh for training camp on
Mhm.
Thursday, and
Yeah.
DK Metcalf didn't even practice. A couple, TJ Watt didn't even practice. Mike Tomlin, very good about the maintenance days for the quote unquote old men, as Paul Esden Jr. terms them. It would not shock me at all if Aaron Glenn looks at Tyrod Taylor and says, you know what? We know what you are. We see you in practice. We see what you're doing. Your track record speaks for itself. Now go hold a clipboard and put on a headset and help us coach these young players in the preseason. We don't need to see them against guys that are desperate to make plays, especially when you're our backup quarterback and you could be thrust into games when the season starts.
100%. And let's do that. Let's get into your trip to Pittsburgh as the Matt Lombardo NFL training camp tour continued, which is absolutely terrific. So I do want to get to that here on the program as well. But before we get to that, I want to get to some between the hash marks action, baby. Like I said, we have a direct link in the YouTube description down below. Matt, can you give people an insight to your Monday morning column that comes out every week, your NFL training camp tour, and how our fans of the show can interact with you beyond just our weekly stints here every Sunday, which are a lot of fun, but I'm sure people would love to interact with you even more than they are.
Yeah, Paul, you can come check us out at mattlombardo.nfl.substack.com. Between the hash marks, each Monday I write the Four Downs column, which is the all-encompassing column of the biggest storylines across the league during the offseason, across the action on Sundays. Tomorrow morning, some really in-depth conversations with former Buffalo Bill, former Miami Dolphin Jordan Poyer, really illuminating some of the culture issues in Miami that might be percolating up to the surface. Beyond that, I spoke with Steelers rookie running back Caleb Johnson just off the field on Thursday's practice. He really turned a lot of heads in the practice that I was at and talked to people in that building, having a really strong summer. So we'll chat with Steelers rookie running back Caleb Johnson in the column. I spoke with a former general manager about the Micah Parsons situation. It's a loaded column this week. Would love to have you come check it out. And beyond the column, we have a weekly podcast on Tuesdays with my friend and colleague Mike Tanier. There's a mailbag every Friday, and the training camp tour has been a lot of fun. So far, we've hit the Washington Commanders, the New York Giants, and just back from Latrobe on Thursday, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we've recapped it all on the site. And Paul, there's a lot of fun coming on every week, talking to the people about the Jets, the nuggets that I'm hearing around the league, and love seeing some familiar faces from the show. Come on over and join us at the Substack to keep the party rolling.
There you go, baby. So let's get some notes from your trip to Pittsburgh. Obviously, that will be the Jets' Week 1 opponent. That's right around the corner, which is crazy to think about. We got 2 preseason games left, the final roster cut downs, and then we're there at the game. And of course, our ex-girlfriend, Aaron Rodgers. And I see this is some footage from you, Matt Lombardo, of Aaron moving around out there. Let's go to the footage. All right, Matt, you were out there. Aaron Rodgers. How are those squeaky wheels moving around out there at the ripe age of 41?
Yeah, so that was just routes on air, right? That was just a warm-up period that we're allowed to film during practice. So, for folks uninitiated, there are only certain parts of practice you're able to take video of. But just my impression of Aaron Rodgers, not moving the way that he did even a year ago, certainly not moving the way that he did in Green Bay. But I will say, early in practice, There was a goal line drill, a scramble drill, if you will, where Aaron bought some time, rolled out of the pocket, and fired a bullet into the end zone where Brandon Johnson basically sat down and pulled in a touchdown. But the play took forever to develop, right? And talking to a friendly Latrobian photographer next to me on the practice field, we both kind of agreed in a game situation, that's probably a sack. So, I think that's just something to watch is what is Aaron Rodgers at age 41, 40, whatever he is going into this year? The offense generally, I thought, and again, I was there on a day when DK Metcalf wasn't practicing. So
Mhm.
maybe when DK is out there, maybe Aaron and DK are lighting it up and they're stretching the field. There's explosive plays all over the place. But the offense seemed to function at its best during this practice when it was intermediate routes, throws the tight ends over the middle, and they love tight ends. They run a lot of like three tight end sets in practice, which is really interesting.
Mm.
But it just seems like they don't have the timing of the vertical passing game down just quite yet. Scotty Miller
Oh
had a nine
yeah.
route down the sideline,
Hmm.
tried to make a diving catch. Aaron overthrew him by about half a yard. The very next play, Mason Rudolph is a quarterback. He makes a diving catch. So the
Mm.
timing just seems like it's still a hair off for Aaron Rodgers. Again, I'm evaluating one practice that I drove out to the day before a preseason game. So who knows how this is taking shape, behind the scenes when everybody's out there. It just seems like from a vertical passing game standpoint, the timing just doesn't seem to be there with Aaron Rodgers and some of these secondary weapons.
What do you think was your number one takeaway, if you can share that, as long as that doesn't scoop you on your column tomorrow? What would you say is your number one takeaway from being at Pittsburgh Steelers camp?
Yeah, I think that they're still trying to find that second weapon. I was impressed by Scotty Miller. He showed some wheels. I was impressed by Brandon Johnson on the perimeter, but it seems like there's a reason why the one team that you've heard reported reach out to the Washington Commanders about Terry McLaurin is the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're just waiting for one of these guys to emerge, and there's not a lot of depth there at receiver after trading away George Pickens about a month after acquiring, a couple weeks after acquiring DK Metcalf. So I think they need to figure that out. The Steelers' defense is what it is. That's what's going to keep them in games. That's what's going to win them games. I thought
Mhm.
Derek Harmon looked really good, pushing the pocket up the middle, collapsing the pocket within the interior pass rush. So their rookies look really impressive. They always draft well in Pittsburgh. It's just going to come down to, Paul, what is Aaron Rodgers at this stage of his career? What is that offense going to be? Because they're going to win with defense. I just don't know how much the offense is going to help.
Yeah, that's very fair. Again, we have our NFL insider Matt Lombardo here, who had his NFL training camp tour, or it continued rather. That happened over the last couple of weeks, which have been terrific, including a little visit there to Pittsburgh Steelers land. And I know Alon in the chat is very happy about your Caleb Johnson, first down that'll be coming tomorrow morning. He's going to be very fired up about that. I can only imagine, which is very interesting as well. And I love this as a AFC East guy. And also, you mentioned it earlier with Jordan Poyer, who's a guy unbelievable full circle moment. 7 years ago, when I went to my first NFL training camp visit, was with the Buffalo Bills, and Jordan Poyer was in all his glory. Threw his shirt off to the crowd, which went crazy as he's in peak physical condition, and was embraced by Bills Mafia as he was signing autographs left to right. You said that he gave you some insights into some dysfunction that could be happening in Miami Dolphins land. That's music to Jets fans' ears because we would love to pour gasoline on that fire and watch it explode.
Yeah, and it just feels like a situation in Miami that was desperate for a reset this offseason, but they decided to run it back with both Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel. But a little bit of a peek behind the curtain with Jordan Poyer. You mentioned his time in Buffalo. You remember a couple weeks ago, I spoke with him about what he's doing, kind of preparing, waiting for the phone to ring, hoping the Buffalo Bills call, that's the one situation he would go to, his life after football that he's preparing for, all those things. It became pretty obvious in our conversation why he would not go back to Miami. And just, I don't want to misquote him, but a lot of our conversation talked about a lack of accountability, both from top on down in Miami, that was really the antithesis of in Buffalo, where everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction, everybody's on the same page all the time. It's just going to be interesting to watch in Miami because you hear about Tyreek Hill not showing up for team stretch period. You had Tyreek Hill not list Tua as one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league this offseason. It just seems like that locker room and that head coach aren't in a great place. And if we know anything, and Jets fans have seen this unfold firsthand, when the wins don't happen and the culture isn't already on a solid footing, things can unravel very, very quickly. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's how we see this thing play out in Miami this year.
I just enact my Jerry Seinfeld. Ah, that's a shame if that does indeed happen. But we'll see what happens. That should be a real hoot because they're a mystery team. They could be talented because they have all these pieces, or they could implode. Either way, it should be fun to watch. That's for sure. All right, Matt. Let's wrap up here. Anything else you'd like to preview about the column tomorrow, or anything else you want to get off your chest to the nearly 400 people watching the show live, and also a special shout out to the people that prefer to watch it on the replay or the audio only version. Much appreciated, however you consume this program. But Matt, anything else you want to get to before you go along on your day with your family?
I think we nailed it. Appreciate coming on every single week. Look forward to these Sundays when they kick off for real, and we're talking
Ooh.
about previewing games and maybe last minute injury updates and all of those things. But it was great breaking down a game with you. This was kind of the test run for the Jets last night, and Aaron Glenn. It was the test run of the Paul Esden Jr. Matt Lombardo Sunday morning football conversations. We could actually sink our teeth into a game, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's for dang sure. Guys, make sure you stay tuned on social media and on YouTube. I'll be cutting up some shorts from our conversation here with Matt Lombardo, and you guys can find that on all social media on top of watching the full interview. Matt, thanks as always for joining us. You know what? People could take their pictures of Matt Lombardo and this puppy, which will take you right there. Again, we also have a direct hyperlink. You just click that. It brings you right to the Substack. I highly recommend you guys click around, look around, browse, and see if you like what you see, baby. Because between the hash marks, that's where you can catch Matt Lombardo all week long. He will continue to join us every Sunday throughout the season, and that is going to be a lot of Jets game days. It should be a lot of fun. Matt, thanks, brother.
Appreciate you, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
There he is, Matt Lombardo. Love that guy. Joins us every week. So generous with his time, and one of the best, baby. Absolutely one of the best. I want to get to a few things here. I see a super chat coming in, so let's go to our boy here. And I'm going to have to get even more familiar with you guys. I believe this is Truman Dumel, but now I got to address you by your new @ people, so I apologize if I mess anyone up here, but... Wow. Let's go to Haitian is Scout, I believe. These are harder to read, too. Audric Esteem was born to be a New York Jet, former Notre Dame Golden Domer, which I always love. He's a talented guy. There's no question about it. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to be honest. I think the Jets running back room is pretty loaded. I think the top three are locks. That's Breece Hall, Braelon Allen, Isaiah Davis in no particular order, although that seems like it's the order. And I strongly believe, I was arguing with a few people on social media, that I think Donovan Edwards is making this roster. Donovan Edwards looked awesome. He's another massive winner for me. I thought he looked great. And riveting stuff from Donovan Edwards. And his stats, which, again, were fine. Donovan Edwards led the Jets in rushing, 9 carries, 42 yards, 4.7 per clip. All that's pretty good. But he had a 70-plus yarder, for those who didn't see the game live. He had a 70-plus yarder to the house for a touchdown, and there was a pretty phantom holding penalty that wiped the play off the board. He deserved that play. So Audric Esteem is very nice, and I like the player. But I don't know if he ends up being a Jet. We'll have to sort of see what happens, but we'll keep that in mind. Thank you for sending that along. You're $1 away. Haitian is Scout. Or hating is Scout. I'm not sure. Again, it's like impossible for me to read your guys' handles. Hopefully YouTube fixes this for the future so I can be even better with all of this moving forward as we're collecting all of your guys' super chats coming up here on the program. And we'll get to some other super chats that you guys have as well. Again, every $3 spent here on the channel we'll get you a raffle ticket for our contest. So just keep that in mind as we're moving forward here as well. Let's continue to address, like I said, all of your super chats coming up here on the show. So thank you. Okay. Let me make sure I'm keeping track here of you guys coming in here on the show. Beautiful. You're $1 away again, my man, from another raffle ticket. All right, let's keep going here. We have okay. Yep, I got to you, NC Green. Let's go to Floor Lily and Big D here. He's sending in a super chat.
Wow.
Any crazy possible scenario that the Jets keep 2 young quarterbacks and cut Tyrod Taylor, that would shell shock me for Lily. Aaron Glenn loves Tyrod Taylor. He loves his moxie. He loves what he brings to the table. And I think he means it. If Justin Fields was ever to miss any significant time, this Jets team feels very confident in Tyrod Taylor. So no, I don't think there's any scenario. If the quarterbacks ball, let's say Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook both look like the second coming at something, I think one of them gets traded. I don't think there's any scenario that Tyrod Taylor gets dumped in any way. Again, if this knee injury is more serious, maybe there's something to that, but I don't think so. And as a matter of fact, I will say this. I think the Jets are only keeping 2 quarterbacks on a 53-man roster. I think you're keeping Justin Fields, you're keeping Tyrod Taylor. And by the way, I thought both Brady Cook was cooking before the penalty sort of hampered him on that drive in the first half. I thought Brady Cook was looking excellent. Adrian Martinez was a big winner from Matt Lombardo, and it makes a lot of sense. Martinez was looking really good out there, but I don't think either one makes the 53. I think what they're vying for is one spot on the practice squad, maybe 2 spots if they're both really good, but one spot on the practice squad as that guy at quarterback to develop. That's sort of my thought. By the way, Florilola and Big D, with your previous Super Chat combinations, you're now up to 5 raffle tickets this month. Appreciate you coming in here. And let me just get to this. I see this is our boy DJ Dirty Cooch, but now he's Electric NYC Funk. Again, something else we're going to have to get used to. He says, BG's shirt made me throw up in my mouth. Fuck John Cena, LOL. And so SummerSlam was over the weekend. WWE was at MetLife Stadium, of course, the home of the New York Jets. And one of my wrestling buddies told me, hey, do you know they have a John Cena Jet shirt? I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's going to every stop on this farewell tour, and they're cranking out shirts from wherever they are. So if he's with the Chiefs, they have a red and yellow John Cena shirt. So I've got the John Cena shirt on, baby. John Cena, baby. So I got a Jets John Cena farewell, rise above the hate shirt. It's terrific. It just literally came out of the package, and I slapped it on here after taking a shower for the interview, or the show, rather. So, yeah, John Cena. John Cena action, baby. You can't see me. Let's go. Love it. Oh, stand up so we can see it better, for what says. So here you go. Here's the John Cena shirt, okay? The last time is now. Farewell tour. It's got it's got the jet thing down here. Okay. It says NJ 2025, New Jersey, East Rutherford. So it has all these little jet shout outs to it. So cool. So I'm a wrestling fan. It's a green shirt. Might be hard to tell, but it's the jet green shirt. It's really cool. So yeah, shout out, baby. John Cena. Oh yeah. You can't see me. Shout out to John Cena, baby. Yes. And people are so excited about last night. You should be. You absolutely should be. The last night was awesome. You guys should be fired up. We got 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. We're trying to make a chase to 8,000 subscribers. We are 130 something away now. So keep chipping away, baby. Subscribe to the channel. We're live every single day here on the show. So let's friggin' go. Awesome. So yeah, guys, I don't know why they switched the handles. Like I said, that's something I'm going to have to get used to, because some of your names are more difficult to read on YouTube here, and I want to make sure you guys do it. So no idea why YouTube changed that, so my apologies. But let's do this, baby. On top of some Jets action happening here on the show, which let's get one of these in, huh? Absolutely awesome. Booyah. The Jets kicking the Green Bay Packers' ass. That feels familiar, which was awesome. So what a great start to the preseason. So many big winners. I have a injury report update. That article came out at 2 this morning. And I just posted that on the Facebook page. You guys can see it. Alan Lazard is in an arm sling. We'll keep an eye out for that one. Tony Adams hurt his thigh. He looks like he's going to be fine. Kane Nguanu has a calf issue, I believe. He's expected to be fine. And Isaiah Davis had an ankle but he's expected to be fine. So nothing looks serious outside of like Lazard. They should probably check in on that one. So that one's a little iffy, but for the most part, came out pretty unscathed, which you got to get pretty excited about. For Lillian, Big D says, best part for me was that I was at a bar and Cowboys fans all crying because they're getting spanked by the Rams. That's terrific. You know what? It's the preseason, baby, and this is how I feel. If the Jets win, well, then preseason games mean everything and we're going to the Super Bowl. But if they lose, it's preseason. Who cares? So that's it. That's my full perspective. You guys can have any perspective and what you like. MFC said Corley was returning kickoffs. I think he only ended up with one return, but let me check this. I have the stats from the Jets. Let me do a quick discount double check here on the return game. Yep, let's go. Player stats here. Okay. Kickoff. Here it is. Yeah, Corley had one kickoff return. He returned for 31 yards. And again, I said it on the postgame show last night, but Corley returned it so deep from the end zone, and that says one thing to me. Corley knows that his ass is on the line, and he's got to make some plays. And so I don't think normally any player would have brought it out from that far deep, because if you get a touchback in the NFL now, it's the 35-yard line. It's supposed to be punitive. It's supposed to like tell NFL teams not to just kick it through the back of the end zone, because you get sort of penalized for doing that. So he had one kickoff return for 31 yards, not bad. And he did not have any runs, but he did have one catch, I believe, on the night. He did one catch for 8 yards. It was sort of on a 3rd and long play, and they allowed him to be yak god, but not a lot happened there. So his ass is on the line. There's no question about it. So Corley really didn't do anything. Long story short, he really didn't do anything in the game. But there you have it. All right, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines. We'll take a quick timeout, and your phone calls are welcome next here on Boy Green Daily as we recap the Jets' emphatic 30-10 victory over the Green Bay Packers. We've been highlighting some winners or losers, and now we highlight the fans. All that and more coming up next here on Boy Green Daily.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. The phone lines are now open. That is youtube.com/boygreen25. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, we appreciate no matter how you consume Boy Green Daily or after the fact or audio only version. A big salute. But if you're watching live, now is the time to get your participation trophy, baby. Feel free to call into the show. What a fun game it was last night. So many takeaways. I was up till like 2 a.m, doing all kinds of Jets coverage of articles and podcasts and all kinds of things. It was exciting. And then I hit the alarm and I said, sweet, I'm up in 3 hours. Let's go. It just Jets. It's hard to explain to other people. Other people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's Jets. You just wouldn't understand. It's phenomenal. So let's go to the phone lines. Let's kick it off with the legend himself. Hep, baby. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas.
That hat, baby. Look at that hat.
My quick takeaways from the game. We
Mhm.
saw AG's brand of football last night. And you noticed something that we came out fast and we came out playing hard. These last 4 years, it's been like the team hasn't even showed up until the second half. It's so frustrating. To finally get to see a team come out like on all cylinders playing, and you can see the way they were hitting. It was just a whole different feel. What was your take on that?
Yeah, there was certainly there again. I think something so the Jets obviously have not been very good for the last 14 years that we continue to highlight, and the broadcast could not stop talking about, wow, the Jets haven't been to the playoffs in this long. Wow, they haven't had a winning season since long. Thanks, Kevin Harlan. Thanks, buddy. But no, I think a big problem for the Jets over that period of time is a lack of an identity. That every week we're like, who is this team? Are they a running team? Are they a passing team? Are they this team? And every week it seemed like they were sort of morphing to something else. And to be honest, I think if you don't know who you are, it's impossible to try to play a game, because each week it's just like you're playing every play is ask John Madden, what does he think on this or this or this? So very strange, very bizarre when we haven't had that identity. So I think the thing that I feel really good about in this particular case is just that, AG has an identity. And here's the other thing, right? So I would say biggest loser, if we were to name one that Matt Lombardo did not mention, is obviously the penalties. We had 10 penalties for 91 yards last night, and that's not good. But the thing that I liked is that the process of it. When penalties happen, AG met the player on the sideline and they had a conversation and they were animated and they were shown on all the televisions. For instance, Michael Clements, who had the over-under on that, he got a fight like immediately into the first quarter. It was like maybe 6 minutes into the game. He immediately gets into a fight, a 15-yarder on Clements. Now, for Clements, it works out because it was offsetting. The Packers had a penalty, so it didn't count. But still, if he didn't have his penalty, then the Packers would have been penalized for their penalty. And he went to the sideline, and Aaron Glenn barked at him. And after the game, Brian Costello said, hey, I noticed that you let me do this. I'm going to play that clip here in just a second so you guys can see it too. So, but that was one of the clips I tweeted out this morning that I felt very good about. I just love that the way that he was addressing it, the way he was attacking it for AG, because that's what has to happen. We can't have the penalties. And obviously there's been a few times this offseason where we've had some of those concerning moments. The green and white scrimmage, we had some penalty issues, which that certainly came up. So the green and white scrimmage penalties were bad. And AG said, this is not acceptable. We can't do this. And that's all true. And then we get into this preseason game. We're getting a couple of these penalties like, oh boy, what's going to happen here? Because also, if you look back at AG in Detroit, they were a very penalized team last year defensively. Now, they had a gajillion injuries, and they're playing Bob Cooter off the street. So that has to be factored into, part of the process there, that's all included in there. But I just loved how AG handled it. That just seemed to say to me, like, okay, things are going to be different. And he said it again in the presser, Hep. He says, yes, the penalties were unacceptable, but we're going to fix this. I promise you that. So it just seems like it is a massive point. He doesn't care about the solid stuff of, I don't want to yell at players. I don't want to do this. I want to handle it. They're adults. They can figure it out. To me, I always was raised in a military household where, like, hey, man, you grab me by the face mask and you tell me when I mess up. Here's that clip from AG. I think this is good.
The only thing that wasn't our brand is the amount of penalties that we had. And some of those penalties were undisciplined penalties, so we got to clean that up.
What we saw tonight on some of those undisciplined penalties, Clemens comes to mind with Prairie Ball.
Yeah.
Come to the sideline, and you were there to greet them.
I have to address that.
Is that what we're going to see from you?
I have to address that.
What is your message to them when they come to the sideline?
Between me and them, I have to address that. That's all you need to know.
And good stuff there. So in case you missed some of the questions, so Brian Costello says, so AG finishes up another answer just saying, hey, penalties, we got to clean that up. Costello says, oh, I've noticed that as soon as the players had a penalty, they came to the sideline, they met you. He says, yes, I have to address that. And they went like, what was your message? And he was like, I have to address that. And by the way, that's all you need to know. That's between me and them. I don't have to tell you what we talk about. So there's just, there's just a lot of pieces that make you feel good, Hep.
Yeah. The other big winner I thought was the offensive line. I couldn't believe the time that JF7 had behind there. I was saying to myself, you're holding the ball too long. I was like yelling at the screen like, oh my God, if that was Zach Wilson, he would have been like running the other way 30 yards, And the offensive line just held up so well. The only concern I have is Brees hitting the hole. He seems a little tentative, but it's early yet, but.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. Again, Matt Lombardo, right? I forced him to pick winners and losers off a drive where the starters only played the first drive. So I'll admit, out the top, it's a little inherently unfair. But the fact of the matter, on Brees, I'll give tip of the cap. Like, hey, he's a running back. Get some more carries. Let's see what happens. But yeah, the offensive line, no John Simpson, so they moved Joe Tippmann to left guard and started Josh Myers. Interesting. I wonder if that's a revealing of the hand of something coming up. I don't know. Again, hopefully Simpson's all right with the back issue, but it just feels look good, Hep. Justin Fields look good.
Thanks, Paul. See you.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, thanks, pal. And guys, make sure you stay tuned to your emails if you guys are coming to our Jets Cowboys game extravaganza. Make sure you guys stay tuned to that because I'll be setting up at some point this week the Chef Kevin Gilbert basically dinner meetup the night before. If you guys have any interest in that coming up here. Okay, beautiful. I love this from NC Green coming in here because I can confidently say that now. Hey, now let's get to the super chat.
Wow.
And this is a note for everyone on YouTube, for especially all our Boy Green Coffee Club members. Hear this message that NC Green's about to say. You can change your handle on the YouTube Studio app. I just changed it to NC Green 73. So if you guys have sort of like if you were HEP or something, although I guess I recognize HEP, but if you have some bizarre kind of handle right now, I would love if you guys could change it to something that sort of represented what you were before. Because when I'm keeping track, like I know this is NC Green Super Chat coming through, I want to make sure none of your guys' raffle tickets go to the wrong place. For instance, I'm pretty sure Truman Dumel gave us a $2 Super Chat earlier in Odrick Esteem, if my memory serves me correctly, but I don't want to be wrong. So if you guys can change your handles, I'm sorry, another extra step for you guys to do this here. But for any of you in the universe, thank you for NC Green figuring this out, where YouTube, of course, makes it even more difficult for no apparent reason to figure some of this out. By the way, with your previous Super Chat combinations, NC Green, you now have 8 raffle tickets for a contest this month. Very much appreciate you here on the channel, which is great. And that keeps you in 4th place in our contest. Beautiful coming up. All right, let's go to this. I think we have a surprise here on the show. Is Bob Lederer?
I'll take a look at it. Yep. Good morning.
Oh my goodness, Bob Lederer, we've got you here on a Sunday. What's going on?
You even see me? It looks like it's terrible.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but you know.
Let me do this.
Okay, great.
Oh,
there we go. All right, Bob, we got you in bed. Okay, what's going on?
Interrupted my exercises.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay,
Hey,
wonderful.
I told you to give the points.
Hey, that's right. Look at that, Bob. Yeah, thank you for that Vegas insights. I should have put my house and deed and everything I have on it
That's
for
right.
on that bet.
Well, next week.
Yeah, we'll do. Bob, what'd you think of the game?
Well, first of all, I was really thankful that Kevin Harlan did it.
Yeah, I love Kevin Harlan. Great
because
broadcaster.
Kevin Harlan knows the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the Jets were doing anything, he even told you when they make quarterback changes. One of the things I hate about these NFL preseason games is when we're seeing, when we're playing on the road, we're hearing the local announcers there doing the games.
Right.
Most of the time, A, they don't know the Jets, and B, they couldn't care less about the competition.
Right.
In fact, next week, I don't know whose turn it is. Who's the home team next week?
Giants.
Okay, so we're going to see the Giants feed. And
so
just
Bob
watch.
Papa. Yeah, right.
There's almost no mention during the game of anything about the Jets.
Right.
It's all going to be, here's what's going on the Giants side. I mean, the other thing last night, I saw a lot of the Jets sideline, which is unusual.
Yes. Yeah. For the people that had the local New York broadcast, they got a much better outfit. We got I think we had to your point, right? The home team, we got the national broadcaster. Some people got the Packers stuff. So that was unfortunate. I didn't get a lot of the, like Richie of Jets Media. He was tweeting out all these clips from the game of AG Jets interaction at the sideline. I didn't see a lot of those on my screen, only a handful of them. So yeah, hopefully we could get some more of that action.
It was. I mean, as well as the Jets played, and obviously they played very well. And
yes.
In fact, Kevin Harlan early on was saying, "Wow, the Jets came prepared to play tonight." And I don't even know who the color man was, but by the end of the game, he was also saying, not only is Green Bay's coach going to be not very happy here, but you got to give it to Aaron Glenn. He had these guys ready to play.
Yeah, and he said that multiple times on the broadcast. It just felt so good. Like, hey, man, I don't know what the Packers are doing, but the Jets were prepared. They came into the preseason. They were ready to roll, and that's refreshing.
Yeah, exactly. Now, about the game itself, I don't know how. I think you said before, if I heard you right, you don't know if Edwards will make the team. I don't know how Edwards fails to make the team because he gives them a different look at running back. That's a scat back.
Yeah, I think you should 100% make it. There were people on social media that aggressively pushed back Jet fans saying, no, there's no way he makes a team. And I'm like, we're just going to agree to disagree then.
I don't know how he blocks, which obviously is a feature, but the play that got called back, the thing that really impressed me about that was his speed and how he just ran away from 2 or 3 guys in the Packers secondary. And they don't have another running back who can do that.
And it's unusual because I think this shows you the difference, Bob. And there's several players I'm sure that you've watched over the years that when you go to the time speed at the combine, whatever number spits out versus game speed, the pads on and whatever adrenaline is running throughout their bodies, that Donovan Edwards was not a guy that was a blazing fast guy at the combine. Yet still, he was clearly separating and he had angles where he could have been tackled and he booked it right past him. So that was
Well,
very.
and he also he hit the hole faster than anybody last night.
Yeah.
Directly from from behind the quarterback. I mean, he just zipped right through there, and that's how he was able to get 4 or 5 yards at a clip. Aside from the one big play that that he could have had. So obviously the defense played well, although I thought the quarterbacking from Green Bay was so mediocre that the Jets really didn't even have much of a chance to have any interceptions.
Yeah,
which
right.
I'm sure Aaron Glenn is looking for.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was nice to get a couple of turnovers, of course, as you mentioned, the special teams turnover, former Jet Mecole Hardman muffing that, and then obviously the strip sack on Malik Willis, created by Leonard Taylor III, that was scooped up by J. Tufele. Just turnovers in general was fun to see.
And to sit there and to watch Abaconda try to make another team when he can't make the Jets.
That sort of tells you something. Yeah, he looked incredibly questionable, whether it was in the return game or the run game. I just didn't see any juice.
He was just, he was just another guy. I think he had one kickoff return that was, of anything of note, but one out of like 7 or 8 chances that he had. I don't think that's going to help him make that team.
Yeah, I don't think that's the kind of batting average that gets you in the Hall of Fame. I don't think so.
Yeah. They kept talking about how young the Packers are. Well, the Jets are a pretty young team too.
Yeah, the youngest teams in football. Yeah.
As far as our quarterback last night,
yeah,
yes, he was efficient in the one drive that he had.
Yep.
Obviously, what I'm sitting there as they change quarterbacks immediately, my thought was, okay, Fields showed he can do that, but how's he going to look when they take away the little dinks and dunks over the middle of the field? Because obviously there are adjustments that the defense makes.
Right.
Because when excuse me, when the next quarterback came in, he tried to do the same thing and he had success on one drive, and then they took that away from him. Although he did complete a pass over the middle, which they've said in training camp he's incapable of doing.
Yeah.
That he just never hits the receiver, but he did a really nice job, when they took away the short game and he had a chance to throw it over the linebackers and hit him for a big one.
Yeah, so it's up to us to believe whatever from AG, right? So AG in the postgame presser yesterday says that they had cooked up deep shots for Justin Fields to go downfield, but he said the defense had it double covered. So Justin immediately said, "All right, I'll keep dumping it off," and that's what happened in the drive. So
that was supposedly what was going to happen on what turned out to be the touchdown run, that he was supposed to go to Wilson and he was covered.
Yeah, right. And then he was able to do it. So good on the touchdown run. Great stuff from Justin. Pockets collapsing. He gets through a little bit of hand fighting, foot traffic, escapes out. And again, great job by Isaiah Davis in the back right corner of the end zone, faking like he was going to catch a pass, which drew the Packers defender away. And Justin Fields walks right into the end zone.
And the other thing I noticed is that I don't think Martinez is necessarily going to make team either.
Probably not.
When he was in a quarterback, they ran a much quicker paced offense than with anybody else. And he must be way more comfortable as a guy who's played professionally, in the USFL and has several years of experience.
Yeah, I like the age of Martinez. He's a good kid. He's a younger guy too. I think he's only maybe a year older than Brady Cook. He was an undrafted free agent 2 years ago of the Detroit Lions, which connects everybody all together, of Tanner Engstrand and everybody. He was originally there, and then UFL MVP. He spent some time on the Jets practice squad all of last year. So yeah, he's a kid with upside. I'm not sure if he makes the team, but he's got some juice. There's no question.
And what did you think of Tyler Johnson? I mean, when I saw Tyler Johnson's name the other day, I immediately thought of the running back who's on Buffalo now.
Oh, Ty Johnson. Right.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Which I ran into, by the way, when I was at Bill's training camp this week. So Ty seems like a really good kid, and I'm glad that he's obviously taken this game to another level. I'm sure Jet fans wish that would have happened here, but, sometimes things happen at different places. I thought Tyler Johnson, the wide receiver that Matt Lombardo highlighted earlier, I thought he was fine. I didn't have him on any of my big winners list, but I love that we could all have different opinions about it. I think Tyler Johnson is really talented, but there's opportunity in the room. Who's going to step up? There was a lot. Brandon Smith, I thought, really stepped up yesterday. I thought Brandon Smith looked really good as a wide receiver. I thought Arian Smith showed some flashes. Quentin Skinner had a nice big catch too.
Arian Smith showed hands.
Yes, and apparently all camp he has, despite all the criticisms from the pre-draft process. Apparently, according to Rich Cimini, Arian has had rock-solid hands the entire time, and his best work, apparently, according to Rich, has been in traffic when guys are all around him. And for someone that has allegedly questionable hands, to all of a sudden your calling card is catching in traffic, that's not typical for that kind of criticism. So, yeah. And whoever it was, I can't remember which quarterback it was, whether it was Adrian Martinez or Brady Cook, they missed Arian Smith wide open for what would have been a 50-plus yard touchdown, and they missed him. And I'm like, boy. But, all you have to do is
he outran the coverage.
Yeah, right.
First of all, he got past the corner.
Yeah,
and then
he did.
The pass was just a little bit too far, which is really kind of remarkable for given his speed.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. A lot of people in the chat are like, "Oh my God, Bob called in. This is a non-scheduled Bob Lederer call here, so you're disrupting the multiverse here, Bob, in a good way." Wow.
Well, by the way, this Friday when I appear, I will actually be in New York.
Ooh, okay, great. Where are you going to be? What's happening? Some special occasion?
My wife and I are going to one of my sons, whose daughter, 4-year-old, is going to celebrate her 4th birthday. So we're
that's
going
awesome.
to the celebration.
By the way, Bob, how many kids do you have?
Oh, I've got 3 kids.
Okay, and what are the ages? What do we got? Names, ages. What do we got going on?
Well, I'm not a youngin', so
okay, that's all right.
See. I have a daughter. Excuse me, a daughter in Israel who's 39.
Okay, all right.
I have a son in New York who's 35.
Okay,
and I have another son in New York who's 29.
Okay, wow. All right, so I'm right on the age with your kids. All right, here you go, Bob.
Well, and you needed to come on today at the very start and just have your daughter with her reaction to the Jets' victory last night.
That's a good point. Yeah, I need to, she was up till late in the night. I don't think it was because of Jet reasons, but I do have to get her for one of these early shows and just have her ready to go, get her analysis. Because like I said, I've this podcast studio just sort of hangs out in the middle of the house. So like I'll go do something in the middle of the day, I'll come back and she's at the mic talking into it. So she's already got it on the mind, clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing we talked, and from what we talked about on Friday with Matt.
Yeah.
The last clip that I played where we had Matt explaining why he's upset with the Jets.
Yeah, the 7-minute clip. Yep.
And I figured something out for the weekend. I should have realized this before.
Okay. Yeah.
When Matt talks about local boy made good and they were upset about that. Yep. And then he kind of garbled saying, and I didn't like the fact that I was so close to Sonny.
Yeah.
What Matt was talking about there.
Yeah.
Is that in 68 season, when Werblin had been forced out earlier during the spring, Matt was without a contract, and Matt missed the first 2 games of the regular season because he had to negotiate with Weeb, and it was the first time that Werblin was not there to step in and tell Weeb, give him this or give him that. And even when he had done that a couple of times, he hadn't given Matt what Werblin had told him to offer. And so Matt went straight to Sonny, and Sonny stepped in and said, okay, here's what we told you we'd give you, and here it is. That did not sit well with Weeb. And Weeb, when Sonny was gone, I think did hold that over Matt's head and said, you're not dealing with the big guy anymore. I'm the big guy now. So I think that's what he was referring to when he talks about bad feelings as time went on, because he had a much tougher guy to negotiate with, and we've talked about the fact that Weeb Eubank was a skinflint. So it was tough, but Matt got himself a good deal after 2 games because the story goes Namath came to the sidelines in the second game as he was getting pressured on blitzes and whatever. And he told Weeb, get Matt in here already. This is ridiculous.
Which it's funny. That's what happened with the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. Emmitt Smith missed the first 2 games of the season with a contract dispute. I believe that was during the 92 season. The Cowboys said, okay, we got to get this guy in. And Emmitt Smith led the league in rushing that year, and the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. So, some special stuff that happened there after missing some initial
All
time.
right,
And I
I'm
will
going to
say,
step back because I'm sure you got a lot of other callers.
yes,
I will
but
see
real
you on
quick,
Friday, and I'll be listening during the week. And wow, that was all I could think last night. I got onto it late
yeah,
because Sabbath ended here.
yeah,
What time was it? It was like 8:40 or 9:40 on
uh-huh,
the East Coast, but 8:40 because they were playing in the Central Zone last night.
right,
So
yeah,
I rewound it and started from the very beginning, and I went, okay, they're up 7-0.
yeah,
Oh, now it's 7-3.
yeah, yeah.
Now it's 13-3. Now it's
And it kept
I went,
going boop, boop, boop,
really?
boop, boop.
Is this gonna continue? I was afraid to go all the way to the end. The game was over at that point. I was afraid to fast forward to the end of the game for fear that maybe they would blow it. But
Thankfully, they did not.
kudos to Aaron Glenn. He really showed last night. By the way, what's the criticism of Aaron Glenn today about using his starters?
Yeah, that's interesting. We have Nick Ferry on the show on Monday. He's the one who had that take, so I'll be very curious to hear his his criticism he had initially, which by the way was before the game for people who don't know that, and then the game happened, and now how does he feel? So I'll be curious. He joins the show on Monday at 8:00, so I'll be fascinated to hear which is tomorrow at 8:00. I'll be fascinated to hear his take on that. And real quick, Bob, before we get out of here, I just want to give a special shout out to the New York Jets History Twitter account that's been around for a long time. They have 12,000 followers. They heard our full Matt Snell interview. They loved it, and they shared it out to their followers, and now it's gone a little bit viral. Not viral enough to what we needed to try to see if we can make things happen, but I do want to give a shout-out for pushing that conversation
How many
forward.
books did they buy?
That's a good question. We got to do follow-up coverage on that, and I will definitely keep you posted on those results, Bob.
Hey, Paul, have a good week.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Okay. A nice surprise. Bob Lederer, surprising calling in. If you enjoy Bob's action, he joined us every Friday on the show. So that'll be the pregame for the Jets Giants the day before Jets Giants coverage. I'm looking forward to that conversation coming up with Bob Lederer. And look, Jets Worldwide, he bought a book. There you go. Ding. We got to have like some sound effect for every time an angel gets its wings and a book is purchased. We need something for both. All right, let's go. Before we go to the phone lines, excuse me, let me just give a shout out to this for people that have been asking. DJ Dirty Cooch has this. So everyone, here are the steps to how to fix your YouTube name. You go to the YouTube studio, channel customization, handle, and then you're able to change your name back to something that you want. So please, please, please follow these instructions to get your name back. Again, I apologize. This is beyond my control. I don't control that, so please take that in mind. All right, I have Jake-OL7HW sending in a super chat. Appreciate it.
Wow.
By the way, Jake, I don't immediately recognize your name, but I will use this YouTube name for your raffles. You picked yourself up a raffle ticket. Wins and losses are fleeting. I just want to now kill myself for revolving Sunday around the Jets. We got a real coach finally. They were ready to play. Wow, this is a roller coaster of a super chat. So thank you. But yes, the Jets are a roller coaster. But again, I tell everyone, when people go, you're a Jets fan, what in the world, what in the name of everything that's holy that you are doing? And I simply say, when those questions and comments come, it's all going to be worth it. The Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. Not if they're going to win, they're going to win another Super Bowl. I'm going to be there for it. And I'm just going to embrace every moment. We're going to document the entire season, obviously, with Boy Green Dailies and everything else we're going to be doing. It's going to happen. It's going to be worth it when we spin it all around, and I can't wait for that. So Jake-OL7HW, you have a raffle ticket for a contest this month, and you're $1 away from another raffle ticket happening here on the show. And again, another reminder from DJ Dirty Cooch. This is how you guys switch your names back on YouTube. If you don't know, YouTube Studio, channel customization, handle, and that's how you can change it back to whatever you'd like. So let's friggin' go. All right, we got plenty of callers coming here on the show. So good morning to everybody coming in here. Let's go up next. We've got NY Jets FL. We got Ted here on the show. What's up, Ted?
Paul, good morning. I challenge all the Rodgers lovers to call in, and I know it's one game, but you can see what this offense could be when it clicks, and you cannot run an antiquated offense with a 41-year-old quarterback knowing that in any play he could step in a hole and be out for the season. That's not going to fly. You're going to have to be completely lucky for the whole year to get through that. So enjoy, Steeler fans, when you have Rodgers go back to throw and think about what could happen on any given play. So I love what I love everything that we did yesterday. Paul came out with tempo, rhythm, play calling was crisp, execution was solid. Except for some of the dumb penalties, which they'll get that fixed. They really will. I
Yeah.
just on the field coaching. It's funny. I didn't see any. I kept hearing about the sideline people saying, "Oh, look at the reaction from Glenn." I didn't see any of it. I was actually on another stream, Nick Shine stream, and they're like, "Oh, look at Aaron Glenn is chewing out Clemens," and I'm like, I don't see that.
Yeah, so it must be again because apparently, and Jared said this earlier, so I have to double check that when I'm watching the games. Because when you come in on the YouTube TV app, you can pick which way you're hearing it. I guess there's a couple of different broadcast choices. Because Richie kept tweeting out the clips, and I'm like, I didn't see any of this of like AG ripping into a player or AG having an interaction with a player. So it must be more Jet centric on some of those versions that you can watch. So I got to click on that one because I don't give a shit, obviously, about the Packers version. I'd love to see more of these things. So shout out to Richie, aka Jets Media. It's on his Twitter. He had several clips of interactions between AG and players or AG and moments, and those went viral. So I highly recommend checking all those out.
Paul, real-time coaching. I mean, we didn't have any of it. We didn't have preparation. And I thought about Jordan Poyer's comments I thought right away to Robert Saleh. I'm like, how can you have a team? And there's all we kept talking about last year. Why can't we start fast? Why can't we start fast? Because we weren't prepared. I mean, obviously we were not prepared, and we weren't prepared at the beginning of the season because nobody played. So it's that part is over. But
Thank
Glenn
God.
is the guy. I'll ride and die with that guy. I'm not saying we're going to be great, but I think every game will be competitive, and that's all you can ask for.
100%. Well, that's going to be the biggest one, and maybe again, other people in the NFL are going to look at it sideways, like, "Wow, you guys are celebrating some weird stuff." But like, just being prepared at the beginning of a game. How many games did we all say, "Well, we got to throw the first quarter out because you just got to sort of warm up the engine"? And so it was so unfair. Every week we're playing with 3 quarters, the other team's playing with 4 quarters. It was inherently unfair that we're at this immediate disadvantage from a preparation standpoint, and also offensively. Again, it's a preseason game, but going right down the field, scoring a touchdown in the way they did, it wasn't like some bizarre doink pass happened. That seemed like a very interesting drive that could be repeated of running the football and dumping off, and eventually we'll get some just on field splash plays, which happened, I would suppose, on the rushing touchdown. We broke free for the pocket. I don't know, man. Vibes are high. That to me rev my engine. It was just really great to see.
Yep. And Glenn mentioned a key factor: time of possession. I mean, you keep the clock running and you keep the other team's possessions down, especially when you're playing like a Josh Allen. That's how you can stay in these games and possibly beat these solid teams. And the warning shots were fired for Breece Hall. I mean, Breece, you want a contract with somebody else because it's not going to be with us. You're going to have to get on your bike and pedal a lot faster. Because if you want any hope of being traded to a contender and maybe getting a decent second contract, you better get going. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Thanks, Paul.
Ted, appreciate the call, brother. Some good thoughts. Appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll see. By the way, Jake says it's just Jake. Okay, well, just Jake, you just got yourself a raffle ticket for the contest with your super chat earlier. That's represented on the scrolling ticker down below. All right, let's get to this super chat shout out. Then we'll get back to the phone lines here.
Wow.
Man with Rake, member for 10 months on the channel. Appreciate you. Defensive line was a concern, but they played their asses off. This is the thing I would say. And again, I talked about this on the show last night, and I had it, and I believe the article down below is on my J2 Fele highlight. We on the outside, obviously, we don't know everything, but we on the outside are like, Quinnen Williams, really good. Who's next to him? Who's the Robin to his Batman? And I will be honest, J2 Fele did not inspire me. In his career, in 4 years, he has a half a sack. That's it over 4 years. He has 3 tackles for loss cumulatively over 4 years. That's it. So the numbers didn't impress you. The analytics didn't impress you. And then Byron Coward, he's been a journeyman. He's been on like 12 teams over the last 4 years. So like you look at some of these names, you go, oh boy, this is questionable. But then you look at last night and you think of one of two things. Either we're right as fans and the Jets have no idea what they're doing. They needed to add somebody and they didn't. Or, as we saw last night, they know something that we don't, that J2 Fele they believed in. And look how he showed up. Byron Coward did not play in the game. Leonard Taylor III, the strip sack, we all knew he had the pass rush juice. He showed up. So that was awesome. The interior defensive line was absolutely magnificent for the New York Jets, and that's my biggest winner. If I had one game ball to give, I'm giving it to J2 Fele. He was unbelievable in the run game, pass game, everything. Incredibly disruptive, and shout out to him. He finished with a sack and a half, a tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, the fumble recovery for the touchdown that was gift wrapped by LT3. Oh, yeah, Jet fans, we should feel a lot confident. It's one preseason game. We should feel a lot more confident about what we saw from the interior defensive line specifically. That was exciting. Absolutely exciting for sure. So thank you, Man with Rake. Appreciate that comment coming through. We have 600 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe again. We're trying to make a chase to 8,000 subscribers. We're about 135 and change away. So, guys, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, make sure you hop over to YouTube and hit subscribe, baby. All right, let's go to a guy who joined us on the immediate post-game show last night, and he's back for Mo. That is Indy Jets. What's up, Indy?
Good morning, BG. Hey, we need to squash this whole Brees is going to get traded, and he's washed up. Come on. Okay. Are the Ravens trading Derrick Henry? Probably not.
And he didn't even play. They could get Braelon Allen in a one-on-one trade.
Right. Yeah, Braelon Allen is the greatest. Are the Raiders trading Ashton Genty?
That's a good question. Well, here's this. EZ has a super chat coming in here on the show.
Wow.
EZ says, Brees gone at the trade deadline unless better play. He was not impressed by last night's performance.
He ran 3 times. Come on now. Ashton Genty ran 3, had 3 attempts for -1 yard. Does that mean the Raiders are going to trade him? No. Come on. It's preseason, and that's all it is. And you're going to take your stars. Justin Fields only had 4 attempts. Are we going to trade him because he didn't have? He only threw 4 times. They're going to play that. They're going to rest the starters. They're going to get them out there. They're going to just like Fields only had 4 attempts passing. Brees only had 3 attempts rushing. And now go sit down. We know we know who you are. We know they know exactly what they're going to do. Brees isn't going anywhere, and they keep saying, people keep saying, just like the previous caller said, they're going to be, Brees needs to do this. It's not going to happen.
What about this? So Jake sent this in.
Wow.
Jake's suggestion, super chat, thank you so much, Jake. You picked up another raffle ticket, is we need to run Brees till the wheels fall off. He's in the last year of his deal. He's saying just run him into the dirt. Your thoughts?
Absolutely, and they're going to during the season. Why would you run him into the dirt during the preseason, which means nothing? I mean, I was at the Panthers-Jets game, a preseason game, when we won 27-0. You know who the 2 running backs? Nice. Remember the 2 running backs that we had there?
Izzy to the hizzy for sure, and I can't remember who the other one was.
Bam.
Donovan Knight, maybe. Yeah,
Bam, right. Yeah, okay, and they looked phenomenal that game. Big deal. All right, and I'm not saying anything negative about Allen. I think we've got a very good, maybe even great running back stables. Good, but they're not going to sit there and put their star running back in any kind of position to run the wheels off and even possibly get injured in a preseason game. So they already know he's going to be the bell cow of this team. He'll probably have 15 carries a game and maybe even 10 targets a game.
Could be.
He's going to be that lower version of what Christian McCaffrey.
That's what a lot of people think was going to happen this year.
And so why would you trade him? Yeah, Allen's going to probably get 10, 15 carries also. We know this team's going to run 40 maybe even 50 times a game.
Gonna be a lot, I think.
You can't do that you couldn't do that with just Allen. So why would you get rid of Brees? Makes no sense. And on another point, on a different point, if we
Sure.
start every game with a defensive penalty like we did last night, and then turn around and that same defensive player balls out, I will take that penalty 17 times.
And by the way, you got to love that. And of course, that's Jay Tufele, who immediately does it. And I'm saying to myself, what an idiot. Like, come on, man. I didn't even think much of you before. Now you get a penalty. I'm like, come on, Jay. But obviously it hit him. He made a mistake. He was jittery, whatever. He was excited for the game. And they had a dominant performance. So yeah, learning from the penalties, that's huge.
But you know what penalty we didn't have?
What's that?
A delay of game by the quarterback.
Oh, thank God. Right. He was snapping it with 10 seconds left or something. It was so I didn't know, Indy, that you were allowed to snap it before there was 1 or 0 seconds left on the clock. That's interesting. That's something I hope we do more. Yeah.
Apparently it's a new thing. I don't know if it's a rule change. Maybe NFL changed the rules and we didn't know about it.
A new trend.
But yeah.
Okay. Right.
So, were there some penalties that we needed cleaned up? Absolutely. But those delay a game that we had all year last year. I mean, what game was that? We used all 3 first timeouts.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean,
I can't even remember that one, but I remember it happened. I don't remember which game it was, but oh my God. I'm like, what are we doing? And then we did one 30 seconds into the game. And I'm like, what are we doing here? It was
first drive.
Good. Oh God.
If you're taking a timeout because you're so confused in the first drive, that should have told us right then and there that this team is not coming to play. And AG literally flipped the script. This team was so excited to play that even the defense jumped off sides on the first play. Okay, I get it. We thought that, but they came to play. The offense looked like they were ready to play an NFL game. And
refreshing.
And so that's. But this whole Brees talk, what people will be. By the bye week, they'll be saying, give Brees his contract, sign him up for 4 years, whatever. Just because, but we're not trading Brees. You're not going to trade Brees. I don't, unless the team's 1-7, and you might get a 4th round pick. Well, okay, whatever, then but they're not going to trade Brees.
Hey, by the way, Jake thinks he likes the cut of your jib.
Wow.
Jake, you're racking up the raffle tickets, so thank you so much for the super chats. This guy gets it. We're going to be the most run-heavy offense in the league. I like having the best running back stable, not trading Hall, not throwing games. We're all in on this season. Salute to you, Jake. There you go.
Yeah, and I look forward to Alon, being able to start calling back in.
At some point,
when he does, after the bye week, every time Alon calls into your show, and he'll do it, he's going to be wearing a Justin Fields jersey. That's our bet. And he's going to be wearing a Justin Fields jersey and saying how great Justin Fields is.
Okay, I can't wait for that moment in time. Yeah, I think Alon said something like his schedule lightens up where he's able to call back in again here in the very near future. Right. So let's go.
Well, happy Sunday. Stay blessed, brother.
There we go. Cheers. Indy Jets dropping some takes. I love it. Let's go back to the phone lines here in just a second, but let me catch up on your guys' super chat shout-outs. Oh, I didn't get to this one for Indy, so hopefully he just sees it. We have the super chat coming on. I wanted to get to this while he was on, but...
Wow.
Jets Worldwide, a member for 8 months on the channel. Wide. All one word. Make sure you guys subscribe to another wonderful Jets content creator with Snowball and Johnny Boy. Michael Clemens' days are numbered. Stupid mistakes again. I would say this. I still think he's making this roster. I know it was stupid to see a fight again, and maybe that's just in his DNA, and he won't be able to fix it. And if so, maybe his days are truly numbered. But you just look at the options at defensive end. He's the 3rd most accomplished defensive end on this team, whether you like it or not, behind Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald. He's on the team. Now, let's just hope that AG can get it out of him, like all the nonsense. And if he can, great. If he can't, maybe his days are truly numbered. I guess we'll sort of see what happens there, Jets Worldwide. All right, let's answer a few more super chat comments coming in. I see this from JR Jet 05. Thank you very much, guys.
Wow.
Biggest difference so far off was crisp Chris defense and special teams, flying to loose balls, game awareness, and communication was definitely up. Hashtag Jet Up. Well, JR Jet 05, you have a raffle ticket to our contest, so thank you so much. And again, raffle tickets you guys could get on the show by just spending $3 per raffle ticket to win a combination of prizes, including a Super Bowl III gold mint flashed in 24-karat gold coin from Super Bowl III of the Jets Colts. That's one of many prizes you can win this month. All three of them will go to one person. That'll be coming up on September 1st. So every time you guys spend $3 on the channel, you're eligible for that giveaway. Scrolling ticker, always updated down below. But that's what I would say. Coming off the first game, there was a willingness. So, like Sauce Gardner is a good player to sort of highlight here, is that he was a guy that absolutely just swarmed to the football. You could see that whatever AG's been coaching him up to do, he was able to do. The special teams, great play. So Mecole Hardman muffs the punt, and he's about to fall on top of it. I believe the player was Isaiah Davis. It may have been someone else, so I have to go back and watch the game again for another re-rack. But when they noticed that Mecole Hardman muffed the punt, he just tackled Mecole Hardman to get him away from the ball so someone else could jump on it. And I believe it was Jamarcus Weston, our undrafted free agent out of Florida, who jumped on the fumble. So that's just great, smart game awareness. So we saw that, running the football, committed to that. There did seem to be a crispness. There seemed to be an identity. A lot of that was clear. So Junior Jet 05, thank you for the comment. And I agree. We saw there was definitely a lot to like there. From that perspective. So amazing. All right. And thank you guys for all the super chats so far. This has been a lot of fun. This has been a fun show. We have 600 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe if you're watching on the YouTube. Let's go. All right. We got another shout out here, and then we'll go to the phone lines here. It's our boy, Three Siblings, aka J Reeves 3. Another way to say that. Sure.
Wow.
Braelon Allen will be the RB1 by week 9. Ooh, midway through the season, an RB change, perhaps. Member for 10 months, so thank you, 3 Sibs. Appreciate you, brother. Braelon Allen, RB1 by week 9. Hey, PFF predicted it. They said that it's only a matter of time before Braelon Allen overtakes Breece Hall. We'll see if that ends up being true. All right, appreciate you. Thank you very much. 3 Siblings. Let's go to the phone lines. Up next, Scotty Mayhem is on the show. What's up, Scotty?
Listen, BG, last night, I know you went on, but I didn't see it till about 2 p.m. in the morning when I woke up. And the joy that I felt when you were speaking to Devon, I cannot even express. If the BG Nation did not see that last night, go back and
yes,
please play that. Tell BG, just tell everybody about the joy that was being expressed by that amazing fan. It was so heartfelt.
It was cool. So yeah, if you guys missed it, this is what we're going to be doing. This is going to be the change for this season. So in past years, if I did a post-game show, I worked with Heavy for my post-game show, so they had to be 2 hours after the final whistle. So it took a long time to get to the post-game shows, and sometimes we didn't have the immediate fan reaction we were looking for. A cool perk this year of me doing my own post-game shows, and they're not broadcast on the Heavy on Jets channel, I could get to the post-game show as soon as the whistle's over and open up the call-in lines immediately so fans can call in. We tried that out last night, and Devin was on there, and his giddiness, his physical body reactions, all of it for the Jets winning was so cool. We had Batch on, Indy Jets on. We had several people. I don't want to miss anybody, but if you guys want to watch that on the replay, feel free to do so. I know sometimes the games will be late, although we do have a lot of 1 o'clock games this year, so some of them will be at respectable times, but watch the giddiness, the excitement from Jet fans, and this is what it's all about. We're in the offseason still, technically, with the training camp and everything before we get to the regular season. We are so excited. There's reasons to be fired up. So many players played well. The Jets opened up a can of whoop ass on the Packers. It just felt awesome. So, yes, please go watch that back for Devin. He was absolutely elated, and for good reason.
So I just want to go over some, for me, key takeaways. I think that there were a number. You've outlined a number of them.
Sure.
First of all, competent coaching. It just the defense, the way it was run by Wilkes, the fact that Justin Fields, and the rest of the quarterbacks were getting the plays off. It just was a well-run machine. I so appreciate competent coaching. I think it more so than in any sport, BG. I just think coaching is the most important in the NFL. And that's what we're going to see this year. I think we're going to see not the stats. I'm not necessarily going to say, at the beginning that Justin Fields is going to light it up. But what he's going to do and what he showed you is decisiveness. Like on the run, I know Indy said last night that he could have thrown it to GW. GW was 10 yards out of bounds on the left sideline, so go back and play it. There was nobody open. There was nobody open. He made a decisive move, got a really good play by Davis, with the juke, as if he was about to get it. And then Justin Fields walked in. That's what we need.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a great play, but we need low mistakes, no turnovers. The defense is I was absolutely blown away by LT, that play. It was amazing. There was
baby.
Williams wasn't even in the game. Look what he did. And take a look at Tufeli. Where the freak did that come from? I mean,
clue.
Unbelievable. So, the key takeaways, O-line, rock solid. First and second team played great. O-line wins games. Competent coaching. No turnovers. Look at just the basics of what we need to do to win games. We don't need crazy stats. Justin Fields was 3 for 4, but he ran when he needed to run, and the coaching was stellar. Now, the stupid mental penalties, look at the difference between how AG operates and how Salah operates. Number one, every player who made a dumb penalty had to go through AG. It will not stand. I promise you this week is going to be all about mental mistakes, because that's who AJ is. He doesn't freaking care about the stats. He cares about the winning. And for all of you guys out there who are smashing Breece Hall, let me tell you something.
Please.
AG told everybody what he thinks about Breece Hall. Okay? 3 runs and you're out. Why? Because we value you. We're not worried about you getting stats in a pregame that means nothing. But look how we kicked their ass. We were so ready. I don't care that it's pregame. It's not about being, hopium. It's about, is your team prepared? And AG is all about Dave Briga accountability. Every one of those players had a mission, including Justin. Justin carried out his mission. He looked efficient and he ran when he was supposed to. So this is my takeaway from this game. This is how the season is going to be. Throw the stats out. Just watch your coaching be competent and figure out ways to win the game. And if we can get these kind of dominant performances, that's all I care about. Just win, baby. Just freaking win.
Great insights. Scotty, thanks for the call, brother. Love it. That's the kind of energy we're talking about here. We have 600 people watching across our social media portals, but specifically here on YouTube, we have 150 people watching, and we only have 80-something likes on YouTube. So, guys, it's free to contribute. There are some people that's entering in super chats, which is awesome, and they're getting raffle tickets. But the free way to contribute is hitting that like button. As my pop likes to say, take that like button to pound down. That's right there on your screen. That helps the YouTube algorithm of getting this Jet show in front of fellow other Jet fans' faces. So please make sure you guys like the video. And we've got 160 of you now in the room, so make sure you guys hit that like button, baby. We got another super chat coming in from our boy Jake. Let's friggin' go.
Wow.
Jake said it. AG chewing people out was great in the preseason. It is accountability. There's a lot of different ways to do it. There's a lot of different ways to, to skin a cat here. But in my experience of being in a military household where, people, you make a mistake and you're held accountable immediately. I don't know, man. When you go through this process and those sorts of things happen, it's just really refreshing to be able to be held accountable and see these guys be held accountable. And we see where this thing sort of goes from here. So, Jake, appreciate the super chat coming in. That was refreshing to see. We'll see if now we could get action to that. So there was yelling. Okay, that's cool. Again, I'm copacetic. But now let's start removing those penalties moving forward. I think that's going to be big. Let's go to the phone lines. We've got one of the best combinations in all of YouTube land. It's Gator and Goose, baby. What's up, Gator?
Hey, buddy, what do you say?
Hey, look at this. We got Goose on the prowl. Pretty beautiful day out there. Ah, nice.
It really is. It's a beautiful day here in Tampa. How's your son doing, by the way?
Oh, he's doing great, and thank you and so many people for asking about him. So, because of a birth condition that occurred, he is going to be wearing this super helmet. I'll throw a picture up in a little bit for the next couple of months. And it seems like we're doing these doctor appointments. So I'm doing them in between all these Jet shows, and they're checking on his progress, and they're very excited for him and saying that it's working. So I'm absolutely blessed. You know what? I wake up this morning, my son wakes up. It's beautiful. So no, I really appreciate you asking, Gator.
No, good to hear. You get the Jet stickers for his hard hat yet?
So that's immediately what I asked. So they said, they tell us this very serious thing about him getting this helmet, and any questions. I'm like, yes, there's several. Number one, does this come in green? She went, oh, no. I'm like, okay, well, that's incredibly disappointing. I'm like, maybe we should go somewhere else. And then I'm like, okay, all right. Well, can we put Jets decals and things on it? And she's like, well, on this style, it's going to be a little bit difficult with the aeration, all this Dr. Mumbo Jumbo. We're still sort of evaluating there, but I'm going to try to break all the rules to get it on there, because what I said when I saw it on there, I'm like, sweet, he's already, kind of getting used to a football helmet, which is great. That's exactly where we need to push him.
Maybe a little green paint, and you just sit there and
there you go. Nice.
Carefully paint the little Jets 4 letters on there.
That'd be beautiful. Let's go. I love it.
So I try to not be such a pessimist, which is my nature when it comes to this team, considering how much they've hurt me over the years.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, very fair.
And I've also definitely been one that tries not to get too excited about preseason. And let's be honest, if they shit the bed during this game, I don't think it would have been smart for us to come on here this morning and talk about how awful they are and how, it's the same old Jets,
Right.
So we have to sort of temper our excitement here.
Sure.
But that being said, I think the two things that Glenn has done that really excites me, first and foremost, is the refs at practice. And secondly, is playing the starters in preseason, which is something we haven't seen in so long. And, you see all the slow starts by teams over the last years where some of the elite teams seem to start so slowly and lose the first game or two. And you're like, oh my God, Kansas City lost the first game or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And it just feels like it's, the lack of preparation with being in pads and going out there and hitting. And I really hope that he continues to do this,
Yes.
and maybe stretches it out to 2 quarters and even 3 quarters, to get these guys game ready. Because, other than a few players on the team, we've got a very young team. So they should be able to withstand. It's not like we have, this aging quarterback out there that, is going to get a paper cut and, and take him out. So, let's continue to give them reps. But, yeah, it was impressive overall. I'll tell you, I was a Glenn skeptic in terms of getting another defensive coordinator.
First year head coach.
But so far,
I'm
free. He has just blown me away in terms of how he brings the intensity that we thought Robert Saleh had when we watched him on the sidelines at San Francisco. And he seems to be making really definitive choices and going in, after players. When he went after that player last night, I was like, damn, I'm like, how many years have I been waiting to see a coach? What was the last coach we had? Was it Herm Edwards maybe that we saw, vent frustration at a player, as he came to the sideline?
Yeah, maybe a little Rex, but probably Herm, I would say, because I don't remember Rex just ripping into guys like that. He more so took the heat on himself. So probably Herm is probably the most accurate one, I would say.
Yeah, and we just saw one. So you got to imagine, there's going to be a lot more of that happens that we don't see. But it's an important aspect to, kicking these guys in the ass and getting them in shape. I'm really concerned about the penalties, as always. It seems as though, until we don't lead the league or in the bottom tier of penalized teams in the league, I'm going to still believe that, we're going to have these guys that go out there and do these stupid things. Man, I really hope Clemens is gone at some point. He just seems like such a liability
Do you think it's going to happen? Because, like I said, the thing that I just keep going back to that hits me is like, man, who's taking his spot, or are they just saying, "Hey, we're fine"? Not again, it's the bag of mystery. We're fine not knowing who that guy is just because of how detrimental he is. Maybe they'll move on from that standpoint.
Yeah, I'm just going to trust Glenn, and I'm not smart enough to have an opinion one way or the other on that. I can only go by what I see.
Yeah.
And what I see, the numbers don't add up to me in terms of his value. And you can't tell me that there isn't somebody on the practice squad that would be less of a liability and deserves an opportunity to show that he can do something. So I don't know. He's just someone that's left over that I think most Jet fans are hopeful was responsible for some of the cancer that we had on this team, and it needs to be eradicated. So, that's basically it. Like I said, I'm trying not to get too excited, but you can't help but be very impressed by how this team performed. By the way, I went and looked at LaFleur's, how do you say it?
Yeah.
I watched his post game.
Okay.
Which, I encourage you to do.
Definitely.
Because, how he reacted to how shit his team was, was very reminiscent of how I believe Glenn will react when, if they had come off a bad performance. Because I don't think Salah acted that way when we got beat. But LaFleur is the real deal. He was pissed. He was just absolutely, he didn't, really, he wasn't outspoken about how good the Jets were. It was all about how shit his team was. And that's what I hope we see from, I've said it before, that's what I hope I see from Glenn, because we're going to have some awful games, of course.
Inevitably, of course.
Yeah. So how does Glenn come out? He wasn't, LaFleur wasn't mad at the media for asking the questions. He was just like, he was pissed. So,
yeah.
And I'm glad that Glenn was a little pissed too, at some of the stuff that went on, So overall, like I said, great performance. Not to take it too seriously, but to at least be optimistic that we're heading in the right direction. And, hey, God bless your family and your son, buddy.
Thank you so much, Gator. Appreciate it. And here for you guys, here's a picture of my son, a recent picture. Here's PE3. There he is. On Friday, I was gone for a lot of the day. This is my handsome son, Paul Andrew Esden III, a.k.a. PE3. He sometimes goes by the nickname Paulie here in the house is what he answers to. And he was eating a donut on Friday. I was gone most of Friday with all kinds of work projects to do with the radio station. But that is my handsome son. And seriously, I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. Really cool of you guys to send so many good words and everything about it. It warms my heart. So I really appreciate everyone that's reached out, text, pigeon carrier, smoke signal, on the show, live, off the show. So many of you guys have reached out about my son, and that means the world to me. So thank you. And yes, we're working on Jet Chance and everything else in the universe because he's my world. So absolutely. And so is my daughter. I got two beautiful children. Excuse me. I have no news to share. No three, just two. Two's good. I'm totally satisfied with two. Thank you. A son and a daughter. Thank you, God, for delivering those. Those are terrific. They're great kids. All right, let's highlight a couple of things here. We've got another super chat coming through here. Shout out to Jake here.
Wow.
Jake has been straight up cooking today, baby. Appreciate it. Preseason is meaningless. It was the execution. 100%. The wins and losses, honestly, it's great when they win, right? If I could have them win in a blowout or lose in a blowout, give me the win in a blowout. That's just more fun to talk about, of course. But it is the execution. It's the vibe. It's how they look. There's a lot of things that you judge it on beyond the things that we say. So 100%, it's not about the wins and losses. I sort of joked yesterday. I said, hey, man, when we win in the preseason, it's the greatest day of all time. If we lose, it's preseason. Who cares? So I think that's a big part of the process. Jake, you've added more raffle tickets to your total. Appreciate it. Our number one Austrian Jets fan, a.k.a. Tony_T-Man with a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Let's go. 5 memberships or more, we play video package. Let's go. Start your engines, baby.
Kevin James. I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Let's go. Here are the 5 new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Milk D471, Jet Green, Thomas Doyle, J Jenny K89, and Joven 307. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan is now back to his place as number 1 at our raffle contest so far this month. So number 1 Austrian Jet fan, thank you so much for sending in those memberships, baby. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We got another great Jets fan, it seems like. 04 Jets fan. What's up, pal? Thanks for calling in.
It was so nice to see the offense and defense actually function. I know it's preseason, and I know it like you said, meaningless. But just to see function was nice.
Yes.
Justin,
just bare basic stuff was
exactly.
Refreshing.
Justin looked like he was comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line, even though we're missing our left guard, Simmons.
Yep, correct.
Simmons.
John Simpson. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I would be okay with rolling the offensive line out there at the regular season that we rolled out last night. If they could play like that.
Okay. Tippmann a little guard action. Yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah. I thought they were going to leave him there after he played well his rookie year.
Right, that's true. Yeah, he moved all around as a rookie. That's correct, including guard. That's a good point. That's where he started his NFL career, so to speak. It was at guard because Connor McGovern at the time was the starting center. That's correct.
Yep. I want to see RPOs get worked in next week.
For sure.
And I think we will see a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only thing I could say about Justin is that misfire to Garrett. Now,
Correct.
I don't know if that was Garrett slipping.
That's true. Right. We never fully know when it's a quarterback wide receiver combo, but he was looking at him the whole way. Clearly his first progression went to him and missed him. Right. So it was that Garrett was at him either way. We want to see that. We don't want to see the Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams shit from last year where Aaron skips a rock to Devontae throws his hands up, Aaron throws his hands up, and they're not on the same page. Like, we need to get Garrett and Justin on the same page ASAP. And I get every ball thrown to him will not always be a catch, but come on now. We want to make sure that's on point. I agree.
Yeah. The ability to use his legs. I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm from Ohio.
Okay, there you go.
I knew he could run. It's been so long since I've watched him on a regular basis that I forgot how much he can make people miss.
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
When he got off on that touchdown run, he should have been dead to rights right there at the line, but he made that, I think it was their defensive tackle miss.
Mm-hmm.
And he was gone.
So cool. We have never had a quarterback like this. It's so refreshing.
Now, I'm an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
And it burns my biscuits to say, but I want to see Donovan Edwards on this team.
Wow. Wow. That's breaking news if I've ever heard it. I never thought that would occur here on the show. Wow. You want to see Donovan Edwards, Michigan, man, after what Michigan did to Ohio State last year in the last couple of years. I mean, you guys get the last laugh of the national championship, I suppose, but wow, this is a big step for you, buddy. This is a big step, clearly, of you just saying that. This is a big step.
I don't want Gibson.
Oh,
I
my
want
God, yeah.
Pritchard. that's his name, Pritchard?
Jamal Pritchett, the South Alabama
Pritchett.
product. Yeah, he looked pretty good last night.
Yeah, kick return. Put him back there, kick returner.
Yeah.
Heck, if they could get Corley back there.
Right.
I'd like to see Corley run.
Sure.
But I don't know. I just want to see more function next week.
Mm-hmm.
Continue the pattern. Even if it's simple.
Yeah.
You can't have enough basic function of an offense.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, I wasn't surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn's a defensive guy. I figured they'd look ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's good signs.
Mm-hmm.
But meaningless preseason. We won't know till we see the Steelers week 1.
Of course. But a lot of positive signs, buddy. And I hope you call back in again. I loved your call. Thanks, pal.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Go. All right. See you, pal. 04 Jets fan. Hey, good year. Good year for the Jets. I appreciate that. Good shout out there on the program. Let's keep that love coming. Love it. Yeah. And again, guys, whether you're a first-time caller or a long-time caller, we appreciate you guys all the same. Feel free, if that's something you're comfortable with and you enjoy calling into the show, whether it's today or a different day. We open up the phone lines every single day on the show, normally in the second half of the show after we have a guest on, if we have a guest on. On the post-game show, we open up the phone lines immediately. So immediately after every game, we will open up the phone lines. The only one that will be up in the air, of course, is Jets-Cowboys, which we will be at for the tailgate special. And by the way, quick plug. There's 600 people watching right now across all social media platforms. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. We sold out. The ticket packages are sold out. But unfortunately, this is unfortunate for one person, fortunate perhaps for another. One of the people that committed to going to the game can no longer go to the game. So 2 tickets we sold out, and then 2 tickets have now become available. These are the last 2 ticket packages I have, people. I want to say that one more time. The last 2 ticket packages. Once these are gone, they gone. Okay, it's $300 per person. There's 2 left. If you have any interest, reach out to me immediately on social media. If you want to join us, it's going to be me and 60 Screaming Boy Green Coffee Club member and Jet fans watching the Jets-Cowboys game. That is week 5. That is Sunday, October 5th. The game's at 1 o'clock. We're going to be doing a lot of fun events around it, including the tailgate in the parking lot before. All food catered by professional Chef Kevin Gilbert. And there'll be a commemorative T-shirt included. You'll be sitting with us in Section 228A. If that interests you, you want to go, you and a friend want to go, reach out to me as quickly as humanly possible. It's first come, first serve. Surprisingly, these 2 tickets became available. It's unfortunate for the Jets fan that was going to go, but it is what it is. Hey, when those sorts of situations happen, we open up the doors once again. And then once these are sold, I won't have any more tickets available for you guys if you want to come. So you guys can reach out on any social media at BoyGreen25. That is BOY, green the color, GREEN 25. Or you can email me. It's my first name, middle initial, last name, JR@gmail.com. PAULAESDENJR@gmail.com. If you guys are interested, it's $300 per person. The total is $600 for the 2 tickets. And then you need to just have the money immediately ready because the Jets are going to take that immediately from me. So we got to make that quick and expedite that process. So good luck to any of you out there. I know we're going to sell them. We'll just sell them hopefully to a good pair of Jet fans who want to come to the game and watch it with us and get some of the excitement perhaps that we got last night. Jake with another super chat coming in here, baby. Wow, it's been active.
Wow.
Last super chat here. I don't want the raffle. Just fuck Keith Carter, the former offensive line coach. Well, you got yourself another raffle ticket, Jake. If you win the raffle, I guess you could choose to do whatever you'd like with those raffle prizes. But, F Keith Carter. Keith Carter was unfortunately an awful coach for us. And when the Jets hired Keith Carter, I've got a really good source with the Tennessee Titans who I've known for a long time, who's covered those practices, who's been around Keith Carter. And I asked him, like, hey, man, what's the skinny here on Keith Carter? He told me that he was a militaristic guy that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. It's his way or the highway. And a lot of players on the Tennessee Titans roster rubbed with him very poorly, and that caused issues, which ultimately was part of the reason he was fired. So that didn't sound good at all. And I'm like, oh boy. And a lot of those issues he had in Tennessee followed him here to New York. So Steve Hyden is now the Jets offensive line coach. He's a former tight ends coach. He was an assistant offensive line coach, I believe was with the Arizona Cardinals a couple of years ago. It seems like whatever he's cooking is working. And I will pair what 04 Jets fan just said, talking about looking ahead, because that's eventually we're going to turn the page here, obviously. The Jets Giants, we got joint practices coming up this week. If the Jets play in the preseason game against the Giants, they're starters. I'll be curious to see what happens there. But either way, whether it's joint practice or whether it's in the game, here's the challenge. The offensive line, I agree, look really good. This 5 looked really good. How did they fare against the Giants' defensive line? They got Abdul Carter. They got Sexy Dexy, Dexter Lawrence, who is rated as the #1 defensive tackle in the NFL by ESPN's rankings. Brian Burns is on that group. Kayvon Thibodeau is on that group. That NASCAR package of those 4 is sick. And that's going to be a massive test to the New York Jets offensive line. So, hey, man, buckle the chin strap. That's going to be exciting, and that's going to be a good time. Let's go. DNY for life, sending in a super chat. I love it.
Wow.
BG, you're the man. Just getting up. Yeah, I got up at 6 this morning. I went to bed at 2:30. after all my Jets coverage was done. Took like a 3-hour nap or something, and then I'm back on here for Boy Green Daily for a near 2-hour show. We just keep rolling, baby. We just keep running it back. But thank you for sending along the super chat. And you'll love it, DIY for Life. You got a lot of shout-outs earlier. People loved they loved your reaction to the game last night, and they hope you call in more for the post-game shows. And I'm sure you absolutely will, DNY for Life. So a lot of people loved that, which was cool. It's cool to get genuine reaction from fans. I'm a Jets fan. So many of you obviously are Jet fans out there in the universe, which is super cool. DNY for Life, you're now tied with Old Yank here on the channel with 23 raffle tickets so far this month. So thank you guys so much for the support, and specifically for you, DNY for Life. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, as number one Austrian Jet fan says there on YouTube. Again, we are trying to chase 8,000 subscribers and ultimately 10,000 subscribers here on the channel. We're about 130 and change away from 8,000. So please, if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, hop on over to YouTube right now and hit that subscribe button, baby, and show your support. All right, another super chat coming through. Let's ride.
Wow.
All right, MFC, with your previous super chat combinations, that gets you another raffle ticket. You have 6 raffle tickets for our contest this month. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Everyone's feeling the good vibes, and for good reason, here on the bleeping program. Let's go, baby, which we appreciate. Now you're tied with Jake in terms of raffle tickets so far this month. Mother effing chew. Let's go. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat coming up here on the program. Carter's injury rate was much higher than average. So that could be, again, to that militaristic sort of physical style. That's another thing I heard from my Tennessee Titans source, is he grinded the shit out of the players in practice, and they didn't like it. There were some rubs. I know Taylor Lewan, who, by the way, I just ran into at Bills camp. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I had heard him talk about previously his not good relationship with Keith Carter, and that they didn't give these veterans the rest that they needed at certain points, which created conflict apparently with a lot of members of the team. So that caused issues too. So a lot of issues with Keith Carter. It's just good to know that he can no longer affect us. I believe he was hired by the Minnesota Vikings as an assistant offensive line coach, if I do remember correctly. So some tough crap there. A couple of things. First off, the Jets kicked some gosh darn ass last night, winning 30-10, baby, blowing out the Green Bay Packers. You love to see it. JETS, Jets, baby. Love this photo. Justin Fields and Aaron Glenn dapping it up after Justin Fields scored his touchdown, which ultimately led to a blowout victory. So salute to the New York Jets. Again, salute to my son, the handsome PE3. Paul Andrew Resden III, my handsome son, and thank you guys for all the well wishes. A great photo of him taken by my beautiful fiance. Donut Day on Friday. It seems like he enjoyed that quite well, and appreciate all you guys out there in the universe. Absolutely cool. All right, we got another super chat coming in. We got to keep feeding the beast, baby. Appreciate y'all. Let's play this super chat. Wow, from my daughter, Zurielina.
Wow.
Our number one Austrian Jet fan is sending in another raffle ticket here on the show. He is absolutely killing it this month, which we appreciate. Thank you very much. You now have 27 raffle tickets. Number one Austrian Jet fan. He said one of his favorite things was Adrian Martinez to Quentin Skinner. That connection was sick. I loved it. Quentin Skinner had a turnaround pirouette 26-yarder, which was beautiful. Martinez just has confidence in his throws. He's just a confident guy, and you love to see it. So, yes, I love that connection. Shout out to Quentin Skinner. He's a big boy, fast, comes from Kansas. He's got a lot of opportunities in this wide receiver room, so I'll be rooting for him. There's a lot of guys that showed some chutzpah. Again, Brandon Smith was another one. He's yoked up, 87. We love that jersey number. So, Quentin Skinner, I loved what I saw. He was another guy that certainly made my notes of someone that stood out to me coming off the preseason game last night. There's absolutely no question about it. He was terrific. Absolutely terrific. Jake asked, Taylor Lewan fucking hates Keith Carter, right? He absolutely hates his guts. From everything that I've heard. Again, I didn't get a chance to talk to him at Bills camp. I just he was hanging out with some of my Bills buddies, and I got a few pictures, but I didn't have a chance to chop it up with Taylor Lewan. He was doing his own content with Bustin' with the Boys anyway, so I don't know if he would have had any time. But I've heard him in other interviews, and yeah, he said he hates Keith Carter, and they do not have a good relationship at all. So take that for what you will, I guess, with any criticism coming in, but take that for what we will. All right. Everybody. Oh, yes. Let me do this. What are the raffle tickets for? I'm trying to throw them out. Here are the raffle tickets. I need to make sure I do this more often so you guys can see what the raffle tickets are for. And let me throw this up on your screen for our raffle contest this month. Here you go. Let's throw it up on the big board here. So when you guys spend $3 on the channel, we have almost 700 people in the room across our social media portals. We have a giveaway every single month on this channel. Now, 99% of the time, raffle tickets can be purchased by just spending $3 on the channel. And again, it doesn't have to be $3 all at once. It can be $2 today, $1 tomorrow, all that jazz. But it's all wrapped around my Boy Green Coffee Club membership. If you want to be a member of my YouTube channel, it's the Boy Green Coffee Club. It costs $3 a month to be a part of it. You get a loyalty badge, you get early access to interviews like Jeremy Fowler, ESPN NFL Insider, Judy Batista of the NFL Network. People that were Boy Green Coffee Club members got early access to those videos last month. We'll have some other big ones coming up. So you get all kinds of perks of being a Boy Green Coffee Club member, and that's really the best value. So if you spend $3 and join the Boy Green Coffee Club at some point here during August, you get all those perks I just said, access to our emojis, our Discord channel, and all that jazz, plus a raffle ticket to win all these prizes that are currently on your screen. And we do that every month. So I highly recommend it. So here are the items that will be gifted on September 1st to one lucky person that has at least one raffle ticket. It's all random. A random vintage Jets player t-shirt, blast from the past. I think you guys are going to like that. It's pretty cool. A New York Jets Highland Mint Super Bowl III flip coin. That is displayed on the left side of your screen there. That is a gold coin that is flashed in 24 karat gold. And it is a ode to the Super Bowl. It's part of their game coin collection, and it is a limited edition coin. Also on your screen, a New York Jets logo Athletic Prime hoodie t-shirt. So you get the Athletic Prime hoodie t-shirt, the gold coin, and the random vintage Jets player t-shirt from the past. All of those items go to one lucky person. We will be announcing that winner on September 1st. So these are the items. I'll try to make sure I mention this more often so you guys can see the prizes that are always up for grabs. So Jake, you got yourself plenty of raffle tickets to potentially win that prize. And whoever ends up winning it on September 1st, I reach out to you and we work on all the shipping details, and then we figure it out and send it out to you. So good luck to everybody. I want to thank everybody so much. I can't believe we had another 2-hour show this morning. We had an hour-plus show for the immediate post-game show. We did the pre-game show yesterday. Content continues to flow on this bleeping channel. Tomorrow, we'll have Jets beat reporter Nick Ferria joining us at 8 a.m., baby, which is going to be a lot of fun. And look at this, for Lily and Big D getting in on the action. What's up, brother?
Morning. How's everybody doing? How are you?
Oh, man, fired up. It's just awesome. So much to love from what we saw last night.
First of all, I'm glad to see that your son's doing great. I think my little nephew or my nephew's son had the same type of things. He was wearing
look
that
at
kind
this
of helmet. And,
yeah, and I was going to be honest, when they told me about this helmet thing, I'm like, oh my God, my son's going to be like, he's going to be so angry all the time. He's wearing this contraption on his head. And they don't give a flying
they get used to it. Yeah, they get used
100%.
to it.
So, like, at first, we're trying to put it on. It's a unique way to put it on, a roaming baby that doesn't want something put on its head. And all of a sudden, you put it on, and then the baby just like, so pass the biscuits. What's going on? And that totally wowed me. I said, oh, my God, it's going to bother the crap out of them. Doesn't bother them at all.
They don't care. It's good.
Absolutely not. No.
And hope, God bless, everything will be great. But I'm sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The thing I wanted to mention was that the thing I want to say, I loved everything I saw last night, but the thing I really want to see, which you probably won't be able to see till the season starts, is in-game adjustments by this coaching staff.
Correct.
We never saw that with Saleh and his coaching staff. It'd be like, okay, the other team is running rampant on us and nothing changed. It was kind of like they just kept running rampant on us, or we couldn't run the ball and we just kept trying to call in the same plays and just we're not going anywhere. It seemed like he didn't have any in-game adjustments. That's what I really want to see from this coaching staff. Everything else looked great, but again, preseason, so I don't get too excited about it.
Yeah, so that's probably the truth, is because, for people who don't know, for preseason games, there's no game plan. No game plan. The Jets didn't have meetings this week of how do we stop the Green Bay Packers. They just sort of put a basic offense together to run through their stuff of run, pass, and a couple of vanilla-like things. But yeah, the real game planning won't happen to the Steelers. So to your point, we probably won't get a real answer on that till Pittsburgh. And even then, Pittsburgh will be interesting because that's, week one, freaky stuff happens. You're playing against a team for the first time. And so there's going to be this unknown quotient to, So the adjustments will be sort of interesting there, like right halftime hits, whatever the hell happened from Pittsburgh, or just in game, like something immediately happened. They come to the sideline, and Tanner Engstrand either offensively, Steve Wilkes defensively, Aaron Glenn, who's supposed to be the CEO, which is what Robert Saleh was supposed to be, and obviously that didn't work out. So I will be curious. That's a good point. That's something that obviously we won't see to the season, but I'm fascinated to see it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I will hold my predictions for everything until, I don't know, when are you going to do that? Like right before game
That's
one?
a good point. Well, probably how it's all going to work out, because now in this new world, right? So we have the 3 preseason games, bang, 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 all in a row. And then we have this week off, quote unquote. I think that's going to be Labor Day weekend before the season gets here. I think that'll be 53-man roster cut down. So obviously that news will be happening. But I think sort of as that's happening, that seems like the perfect time to do our season predictions and things of that nature.
Yeah. That's it. Everybody have a great weekend. Whatever
There we
left of
go.
it.
Appreciate it for Lillian Big D gracing us with his presence on the phone lines, baby. And make sure you guys like the video and hit subscribe, baby. Again, we have 700 people watching the show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. A 2+ hour show on the Jets' first preseason game. This is amazing, and I love it. And 133 of those 700 people are watching on YouTube. So make sure you guys like the video, baby. It's free to contribute to the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the super chats and everything that was coming in on the show. Jake lit it up. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan for Lillian Big D, Junior Jetto 5. Thank you for the super chat member shout outs. Man with Rake, Jets Worldwide, NC Green coming in here as well. Yank Billy, MFC, and of course Truman Dumel. Thank you everybody for all the support on the show and all the kind words about my son. We will be back on tomorrow morning, baby, to talk all things New York Jets and get you guys ready. Jets, Giants, we have to keep turning the page. The wheels continue to move. And remember, folks, you can't see me. John Cena. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Boy Green Daily. That was awesome. Hey, before we go, let's do one more of these, huh? Let's do one more of these. Let's go. Let's go 1-0 in the preseason. Hell yeah. Let's go.